Hello, everybody, and welcome to Powered Up Podcast. My name is Power Guys Gaming, and I'm joined with Big Imperial,
Yo,
Shumo,
Yo, what's going on?
and Sleepless Elite.
What
And today I'm bringing you guys this podcast to talk about a few things related to gaming and entertainment. During the gaming side, we've got Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption 2, and God of War. And then in the entertainment section, we're going to be talking about Kanye West, Childish Gambino, and we might also throw in a few random topics too. So stick by and enjoy as we kind of just give our thoughts and stuff like that based on these topics. So I'm going to start off with Black Ops 4. The way this is going to work is I'm going to ask these guys a few questions. They're going to kind of just weigh in their opinions on it. And I'm also going to kind of just chip in as well and let them know and let you guys know how I feel about it too. So starting off, Black Ops 4 Battle Royale. Essentially what the rumors have been is that Black Ops 4 is supposed to have a Battle Royale game mode. Obviously, Fortnite and PUBG, they've been pretty popping with the Battle Royale gamers at the moment. And Black Ops 4, I think they're just going to try and steal from that and kind of see what they can do too. So I'm going to kind of throw it over to these guys and say, guys, what do you guys think? Do you think Black Ops 4 really needs a Battle Royale game mode?
From my personal point of view, I haven't bought a Black Ops since Black Ops 3, and I say that's a technicality because I bought it for a day. I bought it and returned it like later on the same day, so I wouldn't even say I even played it like that. But for me, because I think to start looking at this, you have to look at the whole franchise, and yes, there is only kind of so far that you can sort of go with the FPS genres, the FPS genre, but I don't know. For me, like I can see why they are adding a battle royale mode in from a business point because, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the Call of Duties that have sold after I think probably Modern Warfare 3, like sales have slowly started going further, so like slowly like decreased. So I can see from a business standpoint why they would add it in. Do I think it's going to be good? It depends on what it's based around. I think if it's based around zombies, people are going to like that, but I don't know how they'd pull that one off.
I'm just gonna quickly chip in and say, right, the way I look at Call of Duty is like, because obviously Call of Duty is made every single year, and it's different companies that kind of make it, right? So Black Ops is Treyarch, right?
Yeah.
I say like you got the Infinity Wars, you got the Sledgehammer Games. Sledgehammer Games made Infinity Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and they also made World War II. You've got Infinity Wars. They made the Modern Warfare 2, 3, yada yada yada, right? But they're kind of separate games, but they're still under Call of Duty. So when I'm talking about Black Ops 4, it's hard for you to bring in any of the Modern Warfares, and it has to be strictly the Black Ops games.
yeah,
Okay, fair enough. Well, what I say still stands. It's still a case of I do still believe that each Black Ops hasn't been selling well because I remember I had the first one. The first one was I suppose different because it was the first thing that started. It was their first thing that started doing zombies, unless they did it in World at War.
They did it in World War.
They did or they didn't.
Oh, they did. Sorry, they did. Yeah.
So I know me personally, I can see why they'd add it in, but Call of Duty's not getting my money.
Nah, see, I disagree because Black Ops has always done well. Black Ops 1 did well, Black Ops 2 did really well, Black Ops 3 did really well as well. It may just be from kind of like what you're seeing or whatever, but Call of Duty is usually the best-selling game each year. I know Infinity Warfare was last year, or whichever year it came out, the year before, wasn't it? I'm not sure how World War II did. But I understand what you're saying, like from, obviously you said Modern Warfare 2, you feel like it's been declining or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like that might just be how you're feeling in terms of your enjoyment of it kind of thing. And kind of things that you don't agree with. Because I agree with you as well. I've enjoyed the games less and less since Modern Warfare 2. The Treyarch ones I usually dip back in for the zombie modes and stuff like that. But back to the original question where you're talking about do they need a battle royale mode? Do they need it? Probably not. But at the same time, I see why they would, to try and keep themselves kind of fresh.
I'll be interested in how they're gonna execute it though. Like what different, how are they gonna make it more different to what out at the moment?
Because the thing is with Fortnite, so let's talk about to get into the discussion more, we'd have to talk about what battle royale games are already out, and there's only two that anybody really cares about, really and truthfully. It's Fortnite and PUBG. So PUBG's one is a lot more. There's a lot more so it's a lot more photorealistic than Fortnite, because Fortnite is clearly, the art style's clearly completely different.
Yeah.
Also, so then we have to, so that's the two like most basic things. But then you got to look into the mechanics of how each thing works. So with PUBG, and I think out of all of us, I think only me and maybe Jordan have played PUBG. Peach.
Yep.
Exposed to the government names.
No, it's okay. Keep it going. No,
but yeah, so with the mechanics of PUBG, you find a weapon and you can add attachments to it, therefore making the weapon better. Whereas Fortnite, you get a weapon, that's it. Like you can't add any attachments to it. Yeah, they have different tiers. PUBG sort of has that. You have I think the best gun that's not a sniper you can get in that game is probably like I think it's either the M16 or the M4. But what in PUBG?
Yeah,
people will opt for the M4 or the M16 over a Scar.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, and Fortnite's it's basically they have to have something that makes them unique. Fortnite is basically the building mechanic. And also, but recently also they've had the tie-in with Infinity War, so you can be Thanos and stuff. So Fortnite is catering to the masses better, whereas PUBG is sort of like the people who want to do just a raw, really simplistic 100-player PvP.
Well, let me just add addition to this story. So, if you think about it this way, right? Call of Duty, I think the maximum players has only been 18. I believe. I don't think you've ever had lobbies any larger than 18, right?
No, they've been larger.
They've been larger than 18.
Yeah, Ground War
is it?
No, one of them was 32, so 60 in a team.
Oh, okay, right. So, like Battle Royale, we know and love it as 100 players.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty to me has never ever had a game mode or even a map big enough for 100 players. So for Black Ops 4 to come out and kind of say, oh look, we're gonna incorporate Battle Royale, that's kind of crazy to me, because now you're gonna have to build a bigger map. Now you're gonna have to make the map be worth playing. You have to make the game run well on the different consoles, and also because Call of Duty has problems with lag. We all know this, right? So and also then you got to make it different, like you said, different from the other games. So that's going to be something cool, definitely to look out for Black Ops 4, man.
This is true, but I don't. That's the thing though. I don't like the original. Obviously, we're partially trailing from the initial question of whether they need it, but I think a better question is, would it be worth it for them to put one in? And that all depends on what they could do to make it unique, which I don't think is a lot. Like the most I can think of is having perks that you can put. Is obviously it'll be the same. It'll be closer to PUBG than Fortnite. So it'll be weapons that you can pick up and you could probably get attachments, but also they'd add in perks as well.
So what was your question? If it's worth it for them? Yeah.
My thing is more if it's worth it, but it's dependent on its execution.
I think 100% it's worth it for them to try.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless of whatever we think, Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises in gaming.
Yeah.
They have a lot of money, they have a lot of resources to get it right. And year on year, regardless of the game, it's still a certain quality. Like, it usually looks really well, it runs really well for the most part. Like, I know PGG, you said about the lag and stuff. Like, it's always had network issues and stuff like that. But I think that's based more on like decisions made on their online infrastructure. Like I think for a long time they didn't have like dedicated servers and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of host migration. I remember them days when the host
the host would leave and then the whole game stops and the game has to find a new host. That was the thing. That was funny.
Bro, that was crazy. Look, hey, Big, I'm gonna give you the lead on this next question because it kind of leads into the battle royale question. I also got rumors, obviously, with battle royale coming through, that something would have to go. A game mode or a part of Black Ops 4 would have to go. And they're talking about a new campaign. So they're essentially saying, okay, we'll get rid of the campaign for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and we'll put Battle Royale in there instead. So my question to you, and this is to everybody as well, but I'm going to let you go first, Big. My question to you is, do you think that Black Ops 4 needs a campaign? And when was the last time you really sat there and played a Call of Duty campaign?
The last Call of Duty campaign that I probably say I completed was the Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
I don't, like with Black Ops and with Call of Duty in general, I don't play the campaign.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I'm more of a straight to go to online, see what the online's saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know about you lot, but I've been in that period where like I ain't got enough money for PSN Plus or run the campaign.
Right.
So yeah, I'll say get rid of it. But also if you're getting rid of it, you must put the battle royale game mode to like the highest you can put it. Don't do no shabby job or do it half done and then add a DLC for it like later on. Like there's no point.
Yeah,
So,
I want to touch upon that, right? So the thing is, right? So let's say, take your point. Let's say they replace it, because it's all rumors, it's all in speculation at the moment, right? Say they replace it, right? That Call of Duty in its own doesn't really have many offline options. If they replace the battle royale, they replace the campaign, and they put battle royale. Battle royale has to be multiplayer. We all know this because obviously you need the X amount of players to play battle royale with. If they get rid of the campaign, then there's no point having there's no point me going to somebody and say, hey man, borrow this game. He doesn't have PlayStation Plus. What's there left for him to play? So what do you guys think about that? If they get rid of the campaign, then what's the other offline options they're gonna have?
Probably a practice mode, most likely, for like, so you know how you could set up a private match on multiplayer and you could just go against bots. It would essentially just be that you could jump in it with friends and whatever, but that'll probably be it, because when it comes to these sort of campaigns, the campaigns in a sense are kind of just are only majority also they're there to tell a story, but they're also to get you used to different weapons, because the game just forces you to use different weapons, so it gets you accustomed to these weapons when you want to start using them online. So it's essentially just a big training thing. They could probably just have a training thing.
All right, cool. Schumer, I'm gonna direct this point to you, right? Because let's say you ain't got PlayStation Plus, right? Let's say you're in a place where there's no internet. Would you consider, or at least give the option to somebody else saying, hey, play Call of Duty campaign? Would you say, hey yo, play Call of Duty campaign, it's good enough to buy some time for you to kill a couple of hours?
I personally usually enjoy the campaigns of Call of Duty. I'm in the middle of Infinite Warfare's one. I'm not as up to date with Call of Duty as I was before, because I used to buy it. I used to pre-order it and buy it day and date.
Yeah.
I haven't pre-ordered one probably since Black Ops 3, I think. But yeah, their campaigns are usually quite good. In my opinion, getting a bit better because they've been hiring writers from external places. I think Infinity Ward hired one of the writers from The Last of Us, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
And yeah, like they bring in actors like they had Kit Harington and I think McGregor was in it as well.
Yeah,
in Advanced Warfare, they had Kevin Spacey. Things like that. They are of a certain quality. And like I said, I personally enjoyed them. I know it's not just go straight to multiplayer. Yeah, if there was like no offline option, then there's not really any point of you buying the game, kind of thing. It's like buying Overwatch. Like you're not gonna have anything to do.
Right.
But they could surprise us all. I know Activision's like the devil and they're greedy, but they could surprise us all and say, "Hey, Battle Royale, you don't need PlayStation Plus," because I know that's the case with Fortnite. I'm pretty sure you don't need PlayStation Plus for that. And I know Destiny has done it in the past with certain things.
Yeah. Like, so I'm gonna kind of say they need a campaign. I think campaign for Call of Duty. Well, in every single Call of Duty, there's always been a campaign, right? Whether it's good, it's bad, it's ugly. There's always been some sort of like section where you go, okay, I'm gonna sit down and listen to the story, or I'm gonna kill this bad guy or terrorist, or something else crazy happens in the story, man. You always think, yeah, sure, I do enjoy, kicking people's asses online, but sometimes you kind of like to sit back and try out the guns, like you said, Sleep. Try out the guns, put them to the test. Even in Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, you could even try out some of the exo gadgets in the story mode too. So I think it's a good way to kind of introduce people to what Call of Duty is bringing in their new game. So Black Ops 4, the story mode will be a good way to say, okay, well in this game we're not gonna allow you to run on walls, but we're gonna have it so you can dolphin dive, or you can do something, or you can do a quick little sprint boost or something. It's a good way to
I missed the dolphin dive.
right, right. So anyway, with that being, I'm gonna wrap up that part. I'm gonna talk about the next section. I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna let you guys air in afterwards. And the next thing I got down is zombies, right? So Treyarch, to me, are the zombie kings. They are the guys that kind of made zombies a thing.
You
And there's always
leave Left 4 Dead alone.
right, wait, right, hold on. That's a good point. That's a good point. Left 4 Dead's pretty good, Valve. I see you, but I think Call of Duty was kind of like the thing where it's like, oh, you need a wave-based, kind of defend as long as possible, simple zombie game mode. Oh, we got that for you. Like, and I feel like zombies has to be in a Black Ops game because Treyarch. I feel like any game that Treyarch does, that's the one. Whether their game is not as good as the next one, that's the one. Yeah, it's their standard, right? It's kind of the thing that they definitely do. So, do you guys think that do you think that Black Ops 4 Zombies is a must, or do you think they can get by without it?
I do think for a lot of people's reasons for buying any Black Ops is for zombies. Like some people buy it, some people will buy it solely for zombies.
Yeah.
Like we've all got friends who've bought it and just play zombies. Like that's all they do.
Yeah.
It's like it depends on what's attached to it. Like so, I have Infinite Warfare, but I could tell you I've not made it past the first level of it because what was attached to it. Granted, it's a different situation because it was Modern Warfare remastered, but it's like some people will buy something because it has something attached to it.
Well, think of it this way, right? I think the order was, I think you had Black Ops 3, Infinity Warfare, World War 2, and then obviously you've got Black Ops 4, right? I'm pretty sure that's the order of the games that came out.
Roughly.
There are still people to this day that are still playing Black Ops 3 Zombies, streaming it on Twitch, streaming it on YouTube, and enjoying it. Like the games must have been out, what, 2 years now? Coming on 3.
3 years,
yeah, right. And people still look at zombies. They would rather not play I think it was Infinity Wars had like a zombie-esque, horde mode-esque kind of game mode. Obviously World War 2, they had their zombies. People were still like, scrap that, I'm gonna play Black Ops 3 Zombies. So I think Black Ops do it the best. Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming because from what I've remembered of the first zombies, it just seems that I didn't know, I forgot that other Call of Duties tried to do the zombies thing. But yeah, I can easily say that Black Ops have done the better zombies out of the franchise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's a good way. Let's clear up. I'm just talking in the Call of Duty terms. Obviously you mentioned Left 4 Dead. You got plenty of other different zombie game modes and zombie games, Dead Rising, and yada yada yada. But I'm just talking straight Call of Duty. I think Black Ops do it the best, man.
Yeah, out of the three companies, Treyarch definitely does it the best.
100%.
Sledgehammer introduced it in Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel right. Like it was fun, but like it was just off. It wasn't like in Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, whatever. And Infinity Wars, in Infinite Warfare, they added zombies as well. And again, it didn't feel right. It wasn't the same thing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely need zombies.
Cool. I think we can all agree on that they definitely need zombies. Yeah. So I mean, next to talk about Call of Duty all aside, I think we pretty much got it. Black Ops 4 Battle Royale is not a bad shout. Campaign would be good for them offline players, and zombies is a must. I think we can wrap that up, put that to bed. I want to talk about a game I believe is coming out in October. That's Red Dead Redemption 2, RDR2. I'm a big Red Dead Redemption fan. I played Red Dead Revolver. I played Red Dead. I came out for PS2. I played Red Dead Redemption. I played The Undead Nightmare. And I love John Marston. I think he's a cool character. I love the whole Wild West, and obviously I love Rockstar. But Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, it's coming out in a year where we're gonna have some pretty awesome games. So my major question to you guys really is: do you think Red Dead Redemption can steal the game of the year for 2018?
No.
And if you don't think it can,
Explain it.
For me,
what
it's
gonna come out to beat it.
like, okay, so let's talk about let's talk about what other games are gonna be that could contend it for game of the year.
Yeah.
I think it would depend on the story, because I did play Red Dead, but I didn't play any of the extra stuff attached to it.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have, like you said, Under Nightmare, and I didn't go into that. For me, it was just the base game. That was it.
Yeah.
It would have to do. It's the fact of what is out now, and what is coming out. It would have to do a monumental job
Well,
to get game of the year.
Let me list out a few games that I think are contenders for game of the year. God of War, obviously.
Bullets.
So we got God of War. I think Detroit or Human, depending, could possibly push a few people. A lot of people might not really be familiar with Detroit Become Human. Sorry, the actual name of the game. But I think they could possibly work some magic and get it done. Obviously, you can't count out Call of Duty. Never. You can never ever do that.
I mean, in all honesty, you really can though.
For game of the year.
For game of the year, yeah.
I mean,
game of the year, I think that's your own bite. It might be game
No,
of the year.
okay, hear me out. Why I say that, because
Sales.
remember the point I made earlier about sales.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I was like, I'm almost because what I said about sales, which was that they've been selling worse. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. I'm not saying like I'm not talking about within the first week or whatever. I'm talking about total units.
Yeah.
So I was like, because I was thinking to myself, I'm almost positive that they have been selling worse. And I have an article here, and you can see that the newest one, which is obviously World War II, is sitting below, like Infinite War. But then like obviously the top one is the one that sold the most units is Modern Warfare 3, which is sitting at like 30 million.
Right.
And this is at was it January of this year?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
so what I was saying before, they are selling worse. I'm not trying to say that like they don't have a massive boom and then like then it completely stops, but they are selling worse.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Okay.
Do you think that Red Dead Redemption 2 would beat God of War or Monster Hunter for game of the year?
Sorry, go on.
I personally think Red Dead Redemption 2 will. I think let me just finish the list of games. Monster Hunter is also in there. You got FIFA that's in there too. Some might even laugh at me if I say this, but possibly even that Spyro remaster could possibly do some magic, because it's like bringing back the old. You know what I mean? All right. So, but I'd say Red Dead Redemption will probably kind of blow them all out of the water. And the reason for that being, not necessarily blow them out of the water, but strive to be the top, right? Be at the top, right? And my reason is because one, the company, Rockstar, that's just one. Two, the levels in which they can build this game up. So they got the single player, which Rockstar, they do okay with the campaigns. It's not as in depth and as crazy as most games can be, or most games have been, but it can definitely do well with the campaign. Then you got the multiplayer. And then you also got the hype that surrounds the company. Those three things together, I don't think no other game will be able to beat it.
Now, when you say hype around the company, when we're talking about Rockstar,
yeah,
what is the very first thing that comes to your mind?
Grand Theft Auto.
But what's the next thing? Red Dead.
Yes,
No.
sir.
Heavy Rain.
Heavy
Jason!
Rain? Made by Rockstar.
I know they're not made by Rockstar, but no. I there's more hype around GTA than Red Dead. I don't think that's up for discussion.
What I think Red Dead would definitely fill the gap for all the GTA fans.
Yeah, it would. Don't get me wrong. It would definitely. I'm not saying it would. I'm not saying it would be at the bottom, but
Yeah.
especially like we were talking about, especially what is already out and what is coming out, and when you surround hype, hype is a factor. So, like we all. I don't know about any of you lot. I'm pretty sure I watched it with you, Shooms. I'm not too. I'm pretty sure I did. We watched E3, and when Red Dead, I think Red Dead 2 got mentioned. Did it at E3? Yeah. I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Crowd was going hype.
Yeah.
Like they were mad hype. But for me, the reason why I don't think it could beat God of War is because God of War has a much more embedded history in people.
I agree, but I think God of War
And
does.
God.
I think God of War doesn't tick off enough categories. But God of War ticks off amazing story, background, character development, actors, awards, acting. It just that fantasy. Even the gameplay is amazing, but it doesn't touch multiplayer.
That's true. That's true.
And multiplayer is like, especially with like you got PlayStation, you got PlayStation Network, you got Xbox Live, you got PC. Like
You got the
You
internet.
don't need that to be Game of the Year, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't need all of that. So it's one of those things where imagine. So what was it? Last of Us didn't. The Last of Us got mad awards when it came out.
yeah,
Did it win a Game of the Year?
Yeah.
I think so.
No multiplayer.
It's true. It doesn't.
No, Last of Us does have multiplayer.
It doesn't multiplayer, but yeah, you're right.
What?
No, I get it.
No, all right. So to go with your analogy, Zelda last year swept up all the awards. Zelda doesn't have multiplayer.
Multiplayer, yeah.
But what I will say is, you said about sales. I don't think sales necessarily matter. I think it's more about impact.
What when we're talking about?
When we're talking about Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah. The sales usually don't matter, but like. So like when you mentioned like I don't like in my everything the most thing the like it's because obviously we're talking Game of the Year.
Yeah.
That means that a game would have to outshine everything else that came out in that year.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So things like Call of Duty, FIFA, FIFA. Don't get me wrong, FIFA like we said, FIFA embodies football. Football is the most popular sport in the world. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
But does it deserve at any point to win a Game of the Year type thing?
It depends on what EA. Because the thing is, EA it's football, but it depends on what EA do.
It's not in the fact that it's EA or football. It's just the development of FIFA's. Like obviously, I understand it gets better and gets better, and now they've added some more story modes and stuff and all of that into that. But I ain't even seen FIFA 19, and I know that God of War's better than it. Granted, FIFA probably has more replayability.
That's true. That's true. I don't think God of War.
I'll say you can't really compare FIFA to like God of War.
Why not?
It's two different types of games. Like,
but you have to compare games to get a Game of the Year.
Yeah. Game of the Year compares every game that come out that year.
You can definitely compare it. You can because you can get all aspects of what makes a game and say what does what better.
Right.
I wouldn't say that's a good comparison of games to compare.
But they would naturally get compared for like a Game of the Year award.
They have to be compared because they are competing in the same year.
Think about every game that's coming up from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. Yeah. Every game, no matter what its genre, will get compared with each other to find Game of the Year, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's facts.
So it doesn't. So when you're saying you can't compare them, do because you can.
All right then. So to finish it off, then big Red Dead Redemption 2 Game of the Year, yay or nay?
Nay.
Streamer, Red Dead Redemption 2 Game of the Year, yay or nay?
I think it has a very strong chance if the quality is there. don't get me wrong. God of War is probably going to be my game of the year.
Yeah.
But Red Dead impacts the game industry on a different level. I feel like, and we're not the ones deciding the game of the year. It's the industry panels and all these different companies and boards or whatever.
Yeah. I agree.
That was the problem with last year, because in my opinion, Horizon got snubbed heavy by Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had rose-tinted glasses on with Zelda because of their nostalgia.
Yeah.
I played both of them. Horizon is 100% a better game than the Zelda that came out.
Yeah.
Graphically, gameplay, story, everything. It was just so different and just all around good.
Yeah.
It should have won, in my opinion.
And that's one heavy thing about when you get into game of the year conversations, because because that's one thing that people don't understand. Nostalgia is a very big part of it. Like, so there's one game that you I know you guys haven't mentioned that's flown under all of your radars, and this is only for a nostalgia factor. But even still, I still believe that this game is a fairly niche-ish market.
But is it potential game of the year though?
Potentially, it depends on how well it does, but it's beyond good and evil too.
That's not coming out this year.
Okay, it's coming out 2018, dude.
I swear it's coming out later on this year.
No, they've only recently started development.
I think it's
On my mom's life.
well, hey, for your sake.
Oh, but Spider-Man though.
Yeah, this is what I was going to mention.
Spider-Man. Oh, that's a day one buy. That's a day one buy.
Hold on. What's Big saying?
So, top 3 games, or top 3 contenders for Game of the Year for 2018.
I'd have to look at a list of what's coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give you a very rough one now of like stuff that I know is definitely coming out.
I've got a list right here with me. So I've got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've got God of War.
Yep.
I've got Far Cry 5. I've got Monster Hunter.
I thought this was supposed to be top 3.
No, he's saying what?
Oh. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I've got Red Dead Redemption. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've got Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I've got State of
Okay.
Decay 2. Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
Metro Exodus. A Way Out. Obviously, we spoke about Detroit.
Yeah.
Kingdom Knights 3. Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Why did I say that twice? Vampire. That game.
Vampire.
It's Vampire. Vampire. Take away that go harder.
But that game, though, I'm very interested in that game because I don't know. I feel. I'm not too sure. I feel that will do very good on numbers. I think the story is going to be lit.
Yo.
Vampire.
It depends on what they actually do with it. So.
Alright, so off the top of my dome, I'm saying Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be Game of the Year. God of War is going to be Game of the Year. And the last one will probably be. You mentioned Detroit. I think Detroit. I think one of those 3. Those will be my 3 off the top of my dome.
Streams.
What, so y'all don't think Kirby All-Star Alliances would?
You behave.
Kirby is not Game of the Year.
You behave yourself.
Yeah, top contenders. I'm saying Red Dead, God of War. If Spider-Man is really good, Spider-Man. But there's also one I think we're forgetting. Smash Brothers is coming out this year.
Oh, I forgot
Oh
about Smash.
my
Forgot
God!
about Smash.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, sleep, go, man, go. Top 3 off the dome.
Okay, well these are a personal top 3 rather than contenders, because contenders I'd be like, yeah, Red Dead Redemption, but in my own personal eyes I'm not seeing it. But God of War,
Right.
Depending on if more things come for it later on.
Top of the dome,
Monster
man.
Hunter and Spider-Man, because I've been waiting for Spider-Man. I won't even lie.
Yeah. But what are you saying? Top of the dome, man. 3.
Top of the dome. Obviously, I think Kirby. No, I'm joking. Obviously, God of War.
Yeah.
I'm in between either Far Cry 5
Yeah.
or Spider-Man.
Okay.
To be honest, on my own personal level, and obviously I do definitely believe Monster Hunter is up there as well.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
depending on how well they do with Red Dead Redemption as well, that could knock it. But my own personal top three would probably be Spider-Man / Far Cry 5,
Yeah.
War, and Monster Hunter.
Fizz. Okay, I like them lists, guys, and to get things moving. Still with the Red Dead Redemption 2 topics, I'm gonna kind of smash these two together. So we've got Red Dead Redemption 2 online, and we've got microtransactions. And let me kind of give you a little gist of what I'm talking about here. So with GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1, their online was very open world. You kind of leveled up your guy, you get different clothes and whatever, and you find a car or whatever, you do whatever you need to do. And then obviously, Red Dead Redemption 1 was you level up, get your guy, get different guns, get your horse, and you can kind of just roam around and just do a couple of encampments and shoot a couple of people and have fun. GTA 5, they changed it up a little bit with the multiplayer, where it's like a huge progression system. You get your own house to buy, you got different DLCs to pick up, different cars to earn. And it's not necessarily really you just find something, it's more, you're going to kind of put more time into it to join this online persistent world. Red Dead Redemption 2, I believe they're going to go with that kind of GTA 5 online kind of factor, where it's not really just random, you go around, beat people up and whatever. It's more so that, you want to unlock this, you got to go do this heist, this quest, this job, and it will unlock this and unlock that, and then you have enough money to buy your fancy cars or your fancy horses or your fancy clothes or your fancy house. But obviously with that, you get the idea of this microtransaction system where it's like, we're going to jack up the prices of everything, so you spend all your time leveling and grinding, or you pay. I personally think Red Dead Redemption 2, it can strive without the microtransaction heavy things. Like GTA 5, if you're unfamiliar, basically you can pay to buy these things called shark cards. Shark cards give you in-game currency. In-game currency allows you to buy better cars, faster cars, better houses, more guns, whatever. I don't think Red Dead Redemption need it. Red Dead Redemption 2 needs it. But do you think that Rockstar, here's the question, do you think that Rockstar need to use, do you think that Rockstar are going to use the microtransaction system?
Yes.
Yes.
To better their game?
Can I start?
Yeah, go for it.
They are 100% got to double down on this microtransaction stuff, and I don't necessarily think it's all Rockstar. It's going to be the publisher, Take-Two.
Yeah.
They have come out, I think it was last year, they came out and said, going forward, every Take-Two game is going to have microtransactions. So Take-Two also do things like NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Which I know the last one was very microtransaction heavy as well. With GTA Online, they make a ridiculous amount of money just online with like the shot cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got an article in Engadget that said they reported in August 2017 that GTA Online made $268.2 million in digital net revenue for the quarter, and that's up by 56% from the previous year. So 2016 quarter 4 or whatever it is, quarter 3, and it just grows and grows. Like everyone who plays it, all these little kids or whatever, they buy these shots. Like I've seen it go to game or whatever, there'll be these little kids lining up ready to buy these shark cards or whatever. It's just like, it's a ridiculous amount of money that they make on it. There's no way that Red Dead is not gonna include that.
If they didn't include it, they would be from a business sense and in most other senses stupid if they didn't.
Yeah, there's the opportunity to make again more ridiculous amounts of money is too easy.
Yeah, because you buy the game and then you buy stuff for in-game. Therefore, think about it. So likelihood is it's a AAA game. They're gonna end up selling it for anywhere between what 45 to, if they do a collector's edition, like 100 plus. And we're in the UK, we use pounds. So like in the US, you're looking at like what $60-70 and above. So they can make you pay that, and then obviously depending on what packaging, because there's a standard one and then the definitive one and then the collector's edition. And if you if you put more money into it, you get more for the multiplayer and other stuff in the story. if they can make more money by you wanting just more money in game, they're going to do that. I think
well,
and it's not
I
even
got a better way to
every
kind of.
a bunch of other games do it too. Look at Fortnite.
I got a better way to kind of, because obviously that's a no-brainer, right? I think we all get this.
Mm.
I'm gonna give you the question first, right? So obviously they have to keep that standard going because it works so well. It'll be daft to not do it. Do you think that this method of microtransactions of this online kind of, oh, I need you to earn this much money, so hey, go buy this extra bit of cash and whatever. Do you think that with companies and games like Rockstar and Red Dead Redemption, it's gonna scare other companies that don't do it, sorry, to doing it, and then we're gonna have eventually every single game is gonna be doing it? Do you think so the question is, do you think every single game, because of these AAA titles, are going to be doing the same online microtransactions method?
Well, if you're talking about every game, if we're talking about every AAA game,
Yeah.
AAA, but think about it, most of the AAA games already do. Even the Call of Duty that was getting remastered, where it's supposed to be something of previous, even they managed to push microtransactions into that. But I don't think it's going to scare like other games into doing it because, okay, I understand. Yeah, you're looking at you're looking at Rockstar, and they are one of the people who are up there, like they are up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to scare I don't think it's going to scare smaller companies into doing it because all the ones that are already hitting in the big leagues, which is basically anyone who's around Rockstar's level, they're already doing it.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, it wouldn't scare smaller ones into doing it because they don't have that type of influence.
Yeah.
So, in regards to the question of whether they're going to, whether other companies are going to do it, the majority already are. But if we're talking about if it's going to influence and make smaller companies do it, no. I don't think so.
Fair enough then. Does anyone want to add to that?
Yeah. Yeah, like we were saying, all the big guys are already doing it. It's just, I feel like it's very important that as consumers that we push back on it, because it is invasive. Like, look at the whole Battlefront 2 debacle.
Sorry, go on. I'll let you finish.
That was completely ridiculous. They tied the progression to their microtransactions, their random generated geared stuff, and because everybody was so outspoken about it, it made them rethink it. So they're going to get away with what you let them get away with. Like even Shadow, the Lord of the Rings game, they had microtransactions, so you could cut like the grind down. It's a single player game. Like,
I know.
they're going to roll it back in July, and they've come out and said, okay, we're not doing any microtransactions, whatever. But even that year, the Need for Speed game was heavy on microtransactions and stuff like that. We have to fight back with it to make them calm down. Like, no microtransactions now is a feature. It's a sellable feature. That was part of the marketing for flipping God of War. The director was going around saying, no, there will be no microtransactions. Moz Hunter came out saying, no, there will be no microtransactions. We'll give you the DLC for free or whatever.
Yeah.
But
to scare the smaller. Oh, God.
No, you go.
I was going to say, scaring smaller developers to do it. I can see it happening, yes and no. I mean, game development is just getting more and more expensive. That's why we've got to this point with like the big AAA guys trying to squeeze every penny out of you because the price point hasn't changed really. So if we just hit the American market, the $60 price point hasn't changed for 10 years.
Yeah.
So they're only making, but the development costs are growing like exponentially.
Yeah, man.
Like Destiny was like $500 million to make and produce, which is a crazy amount of money. If you're not seeing those massive returns back, something has to change. But I don't think microtransactions are the answer. I think they're a different way to monetize their audience.
Yeah. Hey, so Big, well, you want to add anything, Big, before we move on to the next topic?
I was gonna ask you guys a question. So I was gonna ask you guys on Red Dead Redemption, what are the total projected units that you guys think it will make?
Well, how many units it's gonna sell?
for all of these. Bearing in mind that Red Dead Redemption 1 made 40 million units.
I think it'll double it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
double.
I mean, it kind of depends. It depends on how well it's it is. It's all down. It's down to a lot of hype. But it's also down to. I mean, it is Rockstar, so people are gonna basically see this as Wild Wild
Day
West
one
GTA.
will be doo doo.
But I mean,
Day-
what? I mean,
You said 40, right?
it
Yeah,
depends because
40 million.
Oh, yeah.
like if they saw when did Red Dead Redemption 1 come out?
I've got it here. It came out. I think it was 2011.
2009.
15. Oh,
Huh?
Really?
2015.
That's a...
No, that's not. 2000. Yeah, 2011, 2012.
Let's say 2011. Let's just say
Okay,
that.
so
Yeah,
and how many units did you say it sold?
14.
14
One
mil.
four.
14.
Wait, hold on. Are we saying 1-4
1
or
4
4-0?
4 0.
1-4.
Oh, that's not really as much as I was expecting. I don't think it's gonna double it. I think it'll get it. Okay, if we're talking about week one, I could see it doing maybe 5-6 mil units.
Okay.
Maybe some, but no more than I wouldn't say more than. I probably wouldn't say more than 10 million units.
No more than 10 mil.
Not in the first
What,
week.
week 1 or over?
Week
Oh,
one.
first week. Yeah, no, I don't think
Because
week
what did
1.
the Monster Hunter? What did Monster Hunter do? Did they in week 1? They did what? 6?
No, I think it was 5
Oh.
or 4.
Yeah, because
Um,
Monster Hunter blew up like crazy. Because I know you and me, Shoes, we were playing it and we kept seeing the notifications like oh it's broken 1, oh it's broken 2, oh it's broken 3. It was like whoa, this is breaking things everywhere.
Yeah,
And we got it
I
from
know,
day one.
Yeah, God of War was is the fastest selling PS
4 game.
PlayStation exclusive,
Yeah.
which outbeat Horizon and Uncharted. It did, I think, 3.1 million in 3 days.
So, yeah.
What surprises me is that it outdid Uncharted, because Uncharted for the longest time has been PlayStation's
Staple.
killer app thing.
Yeah.
Red Dead, I feel like, definitely has the cachet to do more than that, like first week. Overall, so the first one did 14 million. GTA 5 did 90 million so far. That came out, but that came out in 2013. Red Dead definitely, I think, has the potential to hit 30.
What to 30 in what kind of time frame?
Over a couple years.
Yeah, I can see it happening over a couple of years, especially because, and we have to take into account the what's the word? These, is it the socioeconomics? Like people nowadays, people are making more money and they have more disposable income, so they can, like more people will probably more people are playing games than ever, I think.
I think that's what hits the key there. I think it's
more people playing games. Yeah,
I think that's the key.
Yeah, so it has potential to. I definitely think it will definitely do better than its predecessor, but I don't think it's gonna, like, I don't know how many units God of War has sold now, but I don't think Red Dead's gonna outrace it.
Outrace it.
Sorry, I don't think it's gonna. So I mean, like, in week 1 of God of War, I don't think Red Dead's gonna do the same amount in this, like, whatever God of War did in week 1. I don't think Red Dead's gonna do. That's what I mean. Not like, I don't think it's gonna, like, go surpass it, like, in current time.
Yeah,
I disagree. I feel like it's gonna sell more in the time frame. Like, so let's say week 1 or whatever. I feel like it's gonna sell more than God of War 1 because
it's on different platforms.
Yeah, it's on multi-plat.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more buzz around Red Dead.
I forgot it was multi-platform. Yeah, because you get some people who are like either side of the Xbox and PlayStation thing, and they take sides, and they're not about thinging. And this is something for both of them. I've completely forgot about that.
Right. So
then Red Dead Red Dead might do better than God of War, but will most likely do better than God of War just because of the fact that it's out on more. But then you could still look at the numbers for just PlayStation, like just PlayStation sales, because that's stuff that is attainable.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
if we take it to like that, like in the number of units sold for the PlayStation, I reckon it might be less.
fair enough. That's fair. That's fair.
But quickly go into the microtransaction thing.
Yeah, go.
I was just saying, because I remember Shooms, you were saying about the backlash of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 microtransactions, because that ended up being something that was paid to win. Now, when you compare it to like other games, you can still. The reason what I'm getting at is it depends on how you do it.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Some companies do it correctly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Overwatches. It's just skins. Like,
Yeah, like it does depend on how you do it. Like when it becomes a thing of it's very obviously going, hey, we know you want to win, but we're going to make that really hard for you. So if you give us money, we'll make it easier.
But
when it's like that, when it's a hostile form of microtransactions, that's when I'm like, yeah, we do have to be like, no. But I do see where you're going with. We shouldn't even have to get into that sort of discussion anyway. Of hey, you shouldn't have microtransactions in your game if you're charging us X amount of money for it. And then it's also the case of what you're saying about not adding in microtransactions. They should be changing probably their own staffing, because think about it, these teams are made up of hundreds and hundreds of people. It's one of those ones you probably don't need to be having that many people, but obviously we don't know, because obviously we also know that a lot of work goes into these games, like considering the fact of that's why games are getting more expensive, because they need more computers with all loaded up with the particular software that they need, licenses to use that software, and all of this stuff. So it does make sense.
not only that, they need more talent. Especially the way technology is going, they need people who can
fresh out the industry, fresh out of unis and stuff.
4K assets and stuff like that.
Please.
But I think the easiest thing to compare it to when it comes to microtransactions is GTA Online, which again, it's a lot easier to excel in GTA Online if you're paying for the money.
That's true.
Damn right.
But I wouldn't say that getting to people's levels of where they've paid for it. Like I don't think it's unattainable. Like it's not one of those things. It's grotesquely hard. Like it's like I paid for GTA and I've paid no more money after that, and I'm cool. Like I'm fine.
But we don't play it heavy like that.
True. I still haven't finished the story because I got caught up in the multiplayer.
Right, I can say I'm just going to quickly touch upon it, and then we're going to move on to God of War. Talk about God of War. Essentially, I agree with all your points. I think if you make it super aggressive and make it so it's oh, hey, you got to pay this in order for you to unlock this, in order for you to be worthy enough to compete with your peers, I think that's a little bit much. But what I can say is that what GTA Online does that's really smart and catches people out is they will release a lot of content, and in order for you to keep up with the current expansion, you have to either play it a lot or pay the money. So you can, when the game first came out, you pretty much could keep up with the flow of everything. Then they release one DLC, then in the midst of that DLC they release another DLC. So then you're 2 DLCs behind, and then you got to be, okay, I got to quickly spend hours and hours and hours to catch up, and then while you're doing that, they release another one, another one, another one, another one. So eventually, if you come off the game for a year, come back, you're like 8 expansions behind. You're like 8 expansions behind, which is almost impossible for you to grind to catch up, which forces your hand to essentially pay extra.
Only if you're whack.
So,
right?
guys, I've got the numbers for God of War. Yeah. So God of War, in the first 3 days, sold 300.1 million units.
300.
Sorry, say again. Say again.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
God of War, in the first 3 days, sold 3.1 million units worldwide.
No,
we mentioned that.
Yeah. So
do you have the numbers for total units?
Yeah,
like,
that was in the first 3 days.
no, we're
Yeah.
asking for total.
I still haven't got total units at the
They probably
moment.
wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have released
Yeah,
that kind of
right.
thing yet.
So,
But
so
I don't think
to
they'll release that at any point soon. But yeah.
so
Yeah,
to
it's not even been
bounce
out a
off
month
that,
yet.
so to bounce off that, right? Dive into the God of War, because that's the next topic we're going to talk about here. Is God of War now? So we covered Black Ops, we covered Red Dead Redemption. Now it's God of War time. And big, I know you haven't completed the game yet, so because of that, we'll be respectful.
Don't worry,
We won't give
guys,
you
no
any-
spoilers.
We won't give you any
Hey, I don't
spoilers,
mind.
right?
No, you're not.
No,
you-
no,
no,
we're not
We
spoiling.
might.
no.
We
You have to
might.
experience for yourself.
Yeah, we might, right?
You're gonna
But-
feel every piece.
So,
It's
so obviously,
emotional. You're
right?
gonna feel every piece. I expect a phone call with you crying like, "Oh my days."
So obviously, right? We talked about Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year. We talked about the amount that God of War has sold in terms of the 3 days that we know, which is 3.1 mil. That's amazing. That's awesome. Big, you haven't completed it yet. Would you already put it in your classification of Game of the Year? Can you see any other game beating this game for the year? You ain't even beat it yet. So what do you think?
Okay, I don't see any other game beating it. I see games coming close, but
Yeah.
I don't see any other game beating it.
Yeah. First. And guys, the question obviously, Shumo, Sleep, do you guys think, it's very much to the Red Dead Redemption, the Game of the Year thing we talked about earlier, but do you guys think that with what you've experienced from God of War, that you could easily say that, you know what, yeah, I'll say this is Game of the Year?
100%.
A better question is, could you recommend this game to somebody else who's never ever played any God of Wars? They don't even play a video game.
I already
Would you say,
did.
hey, would
Yes.
you say,
Yes.
right? Okay, fair. Okay, cool. I'm saying, say somebody who's just getting into video games. He don't know nothing about what they were before. Yeah, he hasn't played a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation 2, an Xbox, or PC. He's just bought his console today, his PlayStation 4. And you're saying, hey, you should buy God of War.
I mean,
you guys
I would
say that
advise
to
them
somebody?
not to get the bundle with the PS4 Pro because that PS4 Pro is just raw trash. But
Alright.
that's the only thing I wouldn't recommend about anything anything God of War related. Just the Pro console.
Yeah, Shuma, would you recommend someone who don't play video games? His first time getting this console. Would you recommend and say to him, you should buy God of War?
See, yes, but I would say I might be likely to start them on something a bit shittier.
Oh yeah.
That's going to the next point. So continue.
Because after you play this, it's a very high bar to hit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta start them off with like tabletop racing. But shout out tabletop racing. If you haven't seen it, go to my YouTube channel. I did a video on it. It was hilarious. Link in the description.
Plug.
Nice plug. That's my next point, because God of War to me, it's like it does so many things so well. I streamed it live, right, and I played loads of video games. I'm even getting gassed up and happy when when certain things happen, right, and it's like that to me is crazy. It seems to be PlayStation. I don't know what it is, right? There are some games on PC, some games on Xbox as well. But PlayStation is these story-driven, these exclusive games. They just hook you, man, and they set that standard. And I'll be real quick. Just set that standard, like Last of Us. You play that the first time, you're like, damn, like that game just sets the standard, like. And that's what I think God of War has done. It set that standard where it's like all these games underneath, they're not going to be bad games. They're just going to be games that don't really show people, or these new gamers, the potential of what games can really get to. That's kind of it.
Yeah, to talk on the point you were saying, it's like something about PlayStation that brings these type of experiences. It's because of the way that they invest in their own studio. So Sony owns all of these studios with these exclusives. They own Sony Santa Monica. They own Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
All of these places that do these massive games, and they hit the formula on the head in the 3 era, where they were just pumping out exclusives to try and catch up with Xbox, because Xbox was winning the 360, and it really has paid off. Like, the quality of the games that come out of these studios is just incredible.
Yeah, man.
And that's why Xbox is having so much trouble now. Like, Phil Spencer has come out and said, yes, we need to invest more in first-party studios and blah, blah, blah. that's why it feels like there's no games there. But the exclusives make the difference.
And it's almost like with Xbox, there kind of aren't. Like, I'm pretty sure in my tiny collection of Xbox One games, because I can tell you now, in my thing, my PlayStation stack is probably about three to five times larger than my Xbox One. And with the Xbox stack, I have a probably it feels like I have the majority of their exclusives.
Right.
That's
100%.
what's the maddest thing about it. I have the majority of their exclusives in like in sub 10 games.
If you look at this year for Xbox, they had Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, I think is either just come out or is about to come out, and Crackdown 3 is still in the air. But none of those seem like they're of any consequence.
Yeah, because like people saw God of War. We I don't know who watched the press conference or anything, but we saw God of War. All these things that you're seeing, all these exclusives, everyone is going mad in these stands. You want the sound again? Everyone was going mad. Everyone was going insane. Like I don't like. There's something like Xbox's like sorry, not even Xbox, Microsoft. Their root formula. They need to take a page out of Sony's book, because I remember when we first saw that when the Xbox One was gonna be a thing, they're trying to say you couldn't share games. That was the maddest thing in life I'd ever seen. How you they messed up from day one. From the jump.
Again,
I have a day one Xbox One console and now a controller, and I'm so ashamed of it because they messed up from day one.
But again, like the microtransactions, that was a way of them trying to monetize the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't marketed very well. In theory, it could have been alright given if everything was going more digital, which it is, but I think Microsoft was trying to push for it to go more digital a lot faster than everyone was ready for.
Yeah.
But back to God of War. God of War, I feel like it definitely should be 100% game of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it hits everything that I love in a video game, like the story, the art, just everything, the world, the lore, like the acting.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not even a game that you just play and enjoy. It educates you. That's what it made learning about Norse mythology fun.
Yeah, it made it interesting.
Like,
the relationship between Kratos and Atreus is just incredible. Like,
little waste man.
Huh?
He's got too much lip, and I don't like it.
But you haven't finished the game. You haven't finished the game. Like, it's about the growth over the journey between the two of them. Because remember,
that's what it's always supposed to be about. You can tell from the jump, but just because you could tell doesn't mean it took anything away from it. Oh man, what a game! Jesus Christ!
I can't lie though. The God of War was literally the sole reason why I bought my PS4.
Yeah.
That literally is it. Like,
Well, not even Last of Us.
No.
I mean, all of the exclusives that PlayStation were cranking out were the reason why I wanted to get a PlayStation, because I looked at both conferences and I'm like, wow, PlayStation, because I came from so I had the PS1 and then the PS2 and then I moved to the 360 because I was like, I wanted the 360. And 360 I feel like did a much better job with stuff than the Xbox One. Way better. The 360, I feel like the 360, like if they had that same mentality for the 360 with the One, the consoles would be neck and neck with stuff. Like they'd be attached to each other. And even still, some of Xbox's exclusives, they aren't even that good. Like one of their main ones, like the ones that they were pushing heavy was Recall. Recall's okay. Like it's nice looking, but it's not all that. And then there's Sunset Overdrive, which is just kind of like,
Sunset Overdrive was good.
It's alright, but I mean, but that's the thing. When you compare it to what PlayStation's cranking up for their exclusives, the majority of PlayStation exclusives just kind of take a dump on the Xbox One.
They try pushing Dead Rising 3 as an Xbox exclusive, but Dead Rising 4 came out on all consoles, on all platforms. So like, that obviously didn't work very well.
You have to remember as well, like outside of maybe Halo and Gears and Forza, what might come next year or the year after. With PlayStation, we've got new,
you got new IP,
different games. We've got Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Szechuan sauce.
That looks crazy. That looks like a samurai game. We don't know fully what it's going to be, but it looks really good. Spider-Man,
Ooh.
massive franchise, done well and done by Insomniac Games, the guys who did Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Exclusive to the PS4. What was it? Death Stranding. They locked down a Kojima game after his whole Metal Gear debacle. That's massive for a lot of gamers.
Yes. Yes.
What's their other? Last of Us 2 is coming. Days Gone is coming. Like, there's still a lot in.
There's so much more to come. And what has Xbox done in the last 5 years?
Hey, come on now. Be friendly now.
Exclusives. That's what I want. I want exclusives, Xbox.
Hey,
Fix up.
So, look, man, we're gonna leave roast podcast, and we're pretty much gonna wrap up the gaming side for now. We're gonna move on to some entertainment news, man. I wanna kind of set the ball, and I wanna kind of start off talking about this because I've been pretty emotional about it. And like I said earlier, when I first talk about Kanye West. If anybody hasn't watched the full TMZ interview that happened last week, I recommend you watch the full 30 minutes and 32 seconds. I recommend you watch it all. Hold on. I recommend you watch it all because you get a better context of what they're actually talking about. But Kanye West essentially said that 400 years of slavery sounds like a choice. That's the words that came out of his mouth, right? People have skewed it, turned it around, flipped it on its head. Oh, he's saying that slavery is a choice, yada yada yada. But for my understanding, slavery has been going on for God knows a long time. But I remember there was the real harsh, real core of it I believe was 200 years. I mean, after that, obviously, it still was the thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying 200 years.
Slavery's been going on since the Bible days, man.
Right? So
it's still happening.
Right? It's still happening to this day. I'm not saying that. But so the over 200 years, it's kind of like until now. Obviously, it's kind of like.
Yeah, we're specifically talking about black slavery in America.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I feel like we have more options to fight it, and I think that's what Kanye was trying to say. So anyway, enough of my personal opinion. Okay. My point is, Kanye said 400 years of slavery sounds like a choice. I think TMZ took it out of context. Do you agree with Kanye, yes or no? That's the question. You go first, Salik, 'cause I know you're itching, so I'll let you go first.
Okay, so before I answer your question, so apparently oh my god. So the actual quote is 400 years of slavery, ? That sounds like a choice, full stop. Yeah. That's kind of the thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you not see that statement alone as complete ignorance and insensitivity to certain people? Because think about it, there are people who are alive today that were slaves.
Yeah.
So when you're telling me about 400 years or however long sounds like a choice, if you weren't around for it back then, you've got nothing to stand on. You can't. I don't believe you can say something like that when it's something like that. Like, so obviously, we can all go onto the internet and we could probably go out and find people, if we really wanted to, find people who were slaves. Yep. And actually question them on it, and having them as a primary resource. But that's obviously pretty difficult. So we'd have to settle for secondary resource, which is reading and stuff like that. Now we can all read about how times were back then and how it was just a case of, like, let me put it to you this way.
Okay.
Because me, Peach, and Big, we're black. Shooms, he's black by association, but he's brown for all intensive matters. So if we decide to have to take Kanye's mindset and be like, it's a choice, and let's say for some reason we get into a time machine and we get sent back to that way, and we're like, okay, it's a choice. So but us saying it's a choice is meaning that we don't have to do it. Now you're telling me that if you go back there, say no, they tell you to do something, and you say no, there are not going to be consequences. you'll want to preserve your life because that is a natural instinct. Who wants to die out of any of us? That's what I thought.
But
None
then,
of us. So
I get what you're saying, but then look at those slaves who preferred to die than to become a slave.
okay then, but okay, I see what you're talking about because there's people who the people who jumped off the boats and they're like, no, I'd rather die than be a slave. Yeah, that's fair enough. But think about then let's put it this way: if we then started killing ourselves, would we even be here today?
No.
Yes,
We don't know that.
That's
Because think about it.
You're right.
Okay, let's think about it. Let's take your word for it. Because we don't know how it could have gone. It could have gone multiple ways. But one possible way is that okay, boom, they put us. They're like they tried to come put us on boats, yeah. And and as far as we know, that I forget which way which one of these two is correct. It's either the fact of they were sold by like the main tribesmen, or they just come get taken. Like it was one of those two things.
So basically, the colonizers or the white people, as you can say, went to obviously Africa. There were tribes that it was like a broker deal. So it was like instead of us catching you lot, you would go out.
So they were sold.
Yeah, so you would go out and help us capture slaves or other people. No, go out and help us capture other villages not attended to your tribe, and then we will use them as a bargaining.
Okay, yeah. So okay. So let's say for instance that's what happened, yeah. And then let's take your mentality of it's a choice. So they could be like, okay, calm, let's just kill ourselves. So then they go to set while they're being captured or whatever, they then decide to kill themselves either there or on the boat, one of the two. Because for all intents and purposes, it almost semi doesn't matter. You know that like what one possible outcome is that they do. They just turn around and catch some more until there's none left. Because animals get hunted to extinction. Apparently, there's a new one like every day.
Yeah.
So forgive me for wanting to survive.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just gonna play devil's advocate and try and pretend to fight Kanye's corner. Right? I'm just gonna just to keep the conversation going.
1 second before you start, PG. But you know he's also saying that we are also slaves to the culture that we live in.
That's the point I'm gonna say, man. Keep going.
It's not only just the physical the physicality of slavery. That's what a lot of people, when they hear slavery, is like, oh, you mean about 400 years ago? It's always about the mental aspect of, okay, see how people clout chasing. You see how clout chasing is just such a thing now. Like everybody feels like without a cosign from someone, they have no significance to the earth.
Yeah.
It's like really, like, do you really live off somebody else's opinion? Like, do you really have the need to be afraid to become independent to your own self and not, like, for example, like what is actually wrong with some people actually being themselves?
Nothing.
Like there's nothing wrong with it, but like nowadays it's like when you're being yourself and you might have a different view to something, like it's like, oh, you're this and that, and if you're not thinking how everybody else thinks, you're the outsider. But then, you know. Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is that he has an opinion of something that he has no experience with.
True, and I understand that.
I mean, granted, I don't have any experience either, but he's.
I think it's unfair for you to say
my point's
that,
probably is about as much valid as his are.
I think.
I'm not saying what he said was right, but I'm saying.
Like, no, I know.
Yeah, if you dissect his message, there's different deeper meanings.
Little nuggets.
What the media portrays out is Kanye West is blah 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 because he said this and that and that. But from what Kanye West is trying, and people who think like that, is that yes, it might have been a choice. It might have been a choice, but let's not continue to keep ourselves in that mindset.
That's his message,
yeah,
man.
like I understand that whole point of not basically not essentially be a slave to whatever your environment is. Like I get that, like because me personally, I don't feel like I am.
Yeah.
In that sense, but I think there is a thing of having to a sense, quote unquote, I
What
suppose,
I feel
play
that I
along.
understand what you're saying, but I don't think he got the message across properly.
Hell no.
Especially
No,
where
like he could have gone about it way differently. Like if he was
Okay.
gonna talk, if he was really gonna talk about what he's trying to talk about, he should have just said just that.
Bro, he shouldn't be on TMZ saying nothing like that. He's TMZ is looking for the
Yeah, they're looking
latest
for the hot
scoop, man.
scoop.
But you know, it's a marketing tool, though. You know, he did it on purpose because
Yeah, I know.
TMZ gets.
Oh yeah, album June 1st.
Yeah.
Like, this is why he's making noise.
In it, and Ray
Yeah.
J hit it first too.
But
Yeah.
what I'd say about it is, I feel like there is a discussion to be had on what he was really trying to say.
Yeah.
The main problem is his delivery of what he said. That quote, that
Horrifying.
400 years sounds like a choice. It is disrespectful. It is disingenuous to that whole entire thing. You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't like, it wasn't like these slaves were all choosing to it. They were beat
Yeah.
into submission. Like,
Yeah.
and even still, people were fighting back. People like Nat Turner, people like Big was saying, jumping off the boats because they'd rather die
Yeah.
than be a slave. Like it isn't. Not everybody chose it, and like I mentioned, they were beat into submission.
Because he's almost sound like he's condemning the ones who decided to stick around.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like, okay, we've caught you and now you're gonna. It's systematic. They took away everything. They took away basic human rights.
I mean, they took away their homes, they took away their families, they took away their children.
Exactly.
You when you tear someone's life up, when you completely, and I mean completely, rip someone's life apart at the seams to the point where there is virtually nothing left. You're telling me that you're telling me that you got a choice.
Yeah.
Especially when you're faced with somebody who has all the power.
When you're faced with a massive machine that you need to try and take down when you basically have nothing, even the ability to read and write. Like, it's hard to get organized. It's hard to fight back, especially even like obviously now, even now, black people are a minority in America.
Yeah.
It took a civil war to break that chain.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just black people fighting; it was white people too fighting for their freedom.
Facts.
Because you can also turn around and say it wasn't just a choice for us; it was a choice for other people. Because they could have just been like, "Hey, you know what? This is wrong."
It's true. It's true. That's true, man. And to wrap this little segment up, to wrap it up, basically, I just urge anybody who's listening to this and you guys too to just watch listen to the full 30 minutes, right? Because without it, what you see on the internet, it just don't put him in the right light. He put himself in a bad light. Period. He's an idiot. Period. Anyway, you know what I mean? He is it. We understand that, but.
I wouldn't say he's an idiot. I would just say he had the right to express how he was feeling. But
yeah, he
when you
did.
express how you feel, you also can't complain when people express how they feel about what you said.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. But that is why I say he's an idiot is because it's like I see it as you're smart enough to understand that what you're gonna say and the way you say it and how you approach it is gonna have an effect, and they're gonna twist and turn and skew and rotate, right? And then there's not knowing that's going to happen. He is not in the situation where he said his piece and he doesn't understand who he is. The effect of what he says, based on who he is going to affect certain people and who he's talking to. It's not like he went in there blind, not knowing that. He knows who he is. He knows he's Kanye, the fashion guy, the rapper, the this, the that, the person who just recently said, "Oh, I think Trump's great." You know what I mean? He knows all this type of stuff and the actions that it's going to have. So why go ahead and ruin your image?
And you know what?
Knowing that the way he did it, he could have gone away. He could have done it a different way. That's why I say he's an idiot, because he knows he could have done it a different way, and he went about it the wrong way. Personally, I believe that.
I was gonna say, it's the fact of if you're not gonna say something that's gonna help.
But he is saying stuff that is gonna help.
No, because his delivery was completely. Because look, I understand, I get what you're saying, but like we said, we all agreed on this. His delivery was completely wrong.
Yeah.
You should probably stop and think. It sounds like he didn't think. It sounds like he had this idea, had it and was like, oh my god, it's a Kanye, and then he was just like, yeah, let me just spray it somewhere.
No.
But he's never stopped to think about what he's talking about. That, that's why we've always got all these Kanye moments, like Beyonce had the best video of all time.
But when you say that, yeah, I'll say he. Remember, I don't know if you guys do remember this, but Kanye, when what's his name was in president, was it not Donald Trump?
George Bush.
Obama? No.
Yeah, no, Bush. When Bush was in
Presidency.
yeah, Kanye West was like, cool, 9/11 was a conspiracy, and it was President Bush's fault.
Yeah, and George Bush doesn't like black people. He also said too.
Yeah.
That was to do with the hurricane.
You said it on SNL, like the biggest.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, Saturday Night. Yes, there you go. Saturday Night Live, like the biggest, like what, like late time TV show in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, it's like he does it. He does it. He has a message and he'll say it, but it depends on what audience would agree or not. So obviously, for the black people one, obviously black people. But this one now, it's like some people would agree with it, some people wouldn't agree with it, and then some people who don't know what to think but will think what everyone else is thinking because they get told to think like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
these people need a spine.
this has always been Kanye. I'm not gonna lie. This is always.
Yeah, I've always been him. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, thinking without speaking. Yeah, that's definitely been him. But remember when we go back. If we go back, there was a point of where he was about bringing putting back into his into like his community and to his people.
I think he's trying to do that
this
now,
has kind of done the opposite.
I think he's trying to do it now. I just don't think he necessarily has.
This made black people more mad than anything.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel Kanye, like I've said, Kanye's never been Kanye since his mum died, and he's definitely has had a disconnect with the outside world.
Yeah.
And especially with his current situation. Obviously, I'm not saying that he can go do what he wants, isn't it? If man feels happy going balls deep in Kim Kardashian, hey, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, scooping out some of that Ray J sauce.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I've been really well behaved this whole podcast. I needed one.
Right.
I just needed one. One wish.
Yo, come on, man. Anyway, Anyway, man, but I get your point, and I kind of want to push the next topic.
I hate you speak this. I had a whole point and everything.
Oh, did you? Oh no, finish it.
If I didn't have a point, I wouldn't have said nothing.
I forgot it.
Oh.
You saying about being balls deep in Kim.
Nah, bro, I'm telling you, I've generally forgot it.
Oh man.
Right, don't worry.
Man.
In the same TMZ interview, I believe, he also said that black on black crime is not publicized, or is not really necessarily looked into, and this triggered one of the TMZ like employees. He basically was saying that you can't, the type of person you are, you can't go ahead and be saying stuff like that, because there are people that are working tirelessly day in, day out to publicize the black on black violence and get it stopped and get it shut down. And Kanye, the way I believe he was trying to say it was, over the media, if a white person kills a black person, all hell breaks loose. If a black person kills a black person, no hell, nothing happens. No hell gets broken.
No, you got that way wrong. Right? So if a white person kills a black guy, if a black guy kills a white guy, all hell breaks loose.
No, that's not what Kanye's saying.
No, Kanye's talking about somebody killing a black person. So when a white person kills a black person, the media goes nuts, because usually it's like, oh, this cop did that and just crap up. But like if it's black on black, it's kind of everyone just kind of jots up to, and this is just going to be as crude as it can be. People just jot up to being nigger shit.
Right.
Yeah, but that's only in the last couple of years that the media actually.
What do you mean in the last couple of years?
You're thinking of the Black Lives movement. You're thinking of the Black Lives Matter movement. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying recently. That's Black Lives Matter hasn't been out that long.
Yeah. I know you said, but it's been But
No, I've been talking about black on black crime and people not caring.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
what
saying-
Kanye is saying. So
Okay,
I feel
so you're saying
like I might be slightly lost.
You're
let,
a bit
let,
confused.
let me explain. Let me explain. Kanye West is saying that when a white person kills a black person, social media, and not social media, just society and whatever, they're quick to this, they're quick to that. But when
Yeah.
a black person is killing a black person, nobody's quick to nothing. So he's saying
that's about the same thing
but-
when white people kill white people. No one really says anything. You don't really hear it.
no, I mean when no, I don't know about that one.
Not as much.
I
I
don't-
mean, I'm almost certain that any crime that is like I'm pretty sure that any mix you want to choose, if it's black on black, is probably at the very bottom of the ladder.
Yeah,
Let-
it is
look-
at the very bottom, but I'm just saying, like, it's more when another race kills another race, then that's where there's a whole uproar.
Right, so that's true. But look, but the thing is though, what the guy, the TMZ employee was so angry, basically saying Kanye West, you're doing disjustice to the people who are actually trying to work on this black on black violence, right? So Kanye West is basically, if people look at on face value, Kanye West is saying nobody cares about black on black violence, everybody cares about white on black violence, and that's it. But that's not a fact. The fact is there are people that care about black on black violence, and just because it's not on social media and it's not on the news, doesn't mean that black people are just killing black people and no one cares. There are people still working tirelessly day in day out to work on it.
Oh yeah, there's movements in communities that are trying to trying to lessen every form and every type of crime. Like there's there's people in those communities who live in those communities that are trying to better their communities.
Right, and that's the thing, and that's why that guy was so annoyed, because he's like, Kanye, you can use this platform and the person who you are and the people that you reach to educate people on the minority of people that are actually trying to help it, rather than just saying, oh well, social, the news and this station and that station don't care about it. Because in the end of the day, you're not doing anything to help the situation. Really, you're not really. Truthfully, you get the names, you can get the companies, you can get the movements that are trying to do it, and issue that out, rather than just saying, oh, this company or this news station or this, that, and the third isn't really trying to help these set amount of people. So,
I'm saying all of this Kanye stuff is probably just another ploy for him to drop his next album.
that is what I'm gonna move on to next. So
Scoopity poop.
pretty
Poop
much,
scoop.
pretty
That
much,
nonsense is ridiculous.
pretty much big.
Next
You got a
topic.
good point. Is he just mad? It's you ain't got time for the album? No.
No, why don't no? I stopped caring about Kanye around about what was it? Was it Yeezus?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like the last album that I actually decided to listen all the way through was not College Dropout, even though that's fire. What's the other one? Graduation.
Graduation.
That's sad, man.
He's
That's sad.
still today the
But
most
that's the
fire
last Kanye
album
that we
from
that
Kanye.
we all like missed though. That was when Kanye has gone into his sunk quotation marks sunken place.
Huh?
After that,
When you mean when he think he became Jesus?
Oh,
is
Jesus.
essentially what you mean.
That was so mad.
Right. But the thing is, right, I think all this is a plot, is some sort of
Oh yeah,
way
it's
to
definitely
kind
a
of
little
bring his
plan
hype through his
to
album.
do something. Whether it's just clothes or an album or a new crap,
Right.
something.
I don't think he needs to do it, but obviously
But let's be honest. Who
millionaire,
do you reckon in his life would do something like that?
Bro, come on now, man.
No, for real though.
Wait, you talking about Kim? You talking about Kim
I'm
Kardashian?
talking about the Kardashians as a whole. They do some nonsense to have their names blow up and then for people to take notice. Tell me this doesn't feel Kardashian-y.
No, I don't. I think it feels Kanye Westy.
No, but I mean the whole tactics of it, the whole doing something.
No, Kanye's always done this. Whenever he has a little episode or whatever, or something like that, an album, something is coming. Like for the most part, he's silent until something's coming out.
yeah.
Like he's got something like 5 albums that he's producing coming out over May and June. Pusha T is May 25th. His album is June 1st or something.
Yeah.
On the 8th, I think it's his album with Kid Cudi. He's produced Tiana Taylor's album, which is coming in June. Yeah, but I don't think Kanye did anything with that.
Yeah, Kanye produced. Was executive producer of the album.
Are you sure? Because Designer was asked that, and didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he didn't say. I mean, the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you've only just been watching the Breakfast Club PGG, so how have
Hey,
you
I have now, right? I did say since the Birdman incident on Breakfast Club, I didn't know who they were. I know who they are now, right? I put some respect on
You're
Breakfast Club name. Yeah, I do. I put some respect on Breakfast
Nas,
Club
sorry.
name.
Just
Nas
saying.
was the 5th album. He's doing a Nas album.
Oh, sweet.
Just
Okay,
saying. Very
that'll be good.
quickly.
Yeah.
PZ, I hope you just realized you aligned with Tekashi 69.
Say again.
Because you were saying how after the whole Birdman thing, you watched the Breakfast Club. This
Yeah.
highlights his point that you wouldn't know who Charlemagne was if it wasn't for the Breakfast Club. Just saying.
Pretty much.
Hold tight, Tekashi 69. Sign me. Carry on.
Anyway, right. So we can all come to the agreement that Kanye West has got something in the works. Album, plugging somewhere, fashion. Just Kim Kardashian probably working behind the scenes or something, or he's trying to help publicize something for somebody so you can get a bit of a buzz. I don't think him doing that I don't think him doing the previous stuff, such as the slavery comments and the Black on Black crime comments, I don't think he necessarily needed that. But hey, I'm not a millionaire. I don't make billions of pounds. I don't own acres of land, so I don't know. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Childish. We're gonna move on to Childish Gambino, right? And we really only have one major thing to talk about Childish Gambino because
this is America.
Right, there you go, right? This is America. Yeah, the official music video. I call it on YouTube 2 days after it came out because I saw it. I saw the thumbnail. It was just his back, I think, and I was just like, right, what's this shit? Anyway, right? Then it was on #1 trending for like a couple of days, right? So I'm like, oh damn, maybe I gotta check this out, right? And I checked it out, and I watched it twice and 2 times in a row, basically. And the first time I watched it, it shocked me. And the second time I watched it, it shocked me. So right.
I got double shocked.
Right. So my question is really to you guys is the music video, right? What do you think it means? What do you guys think it means?
I just want to say the music video is a work of art.
So many meanings.
Let's get that out the way now. The music video is a work of art.
Yeah, trust me. Well, I'm on it right now. Yeah, and the music video in a week has got 101 million views in a week.
Yeah.
I do think you should get more, but in a week, that's very, very good.
There's Gangnam Style sitting at stupid billion.
Yeah.
I'm Justin Bieber baby.
Oh,
Justin
God.
Bieber baby. I think I had Down Hello. And I also said Rebecca Black Friday, but I don't want to show that. Anyway, back to.
How do you remember that? How do you? No. PGG, tell me, how do you even remember that?
You want to know why I remember that?
Is that still in your playlist?
Hell no. But that was never my place to begin with. What are you talking? The reason why why are we talking about? I don't talk about Rebecca Black. I'm talking about Childish Gambino. I'll start off and say, I think the music video, like you said,
get roasted in the comments.
Has multiple meanings. And I just think essentially he's trying to highlight a few decisions or a few stuff that's happened in America in recent history. I think.
I don't think it's, in a sense, multiple reasons. It's one big reason, and it's one big theme that this thing is just trying to do. There's one big theme, and I think we can all agree on it, and it's for people to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's highlighting the fact of, you know, something will happen, but people are too concerned with something else that's going on that's unrelated because you know what, they don't want to get involved about it because it's sometimes for people it's easier to just stick your head in the sand.
Yeah.
Like there was a scene where they were dancing or whatever and distracting you because, like you said, you have to watch this sometimes multiple times to see things. There was a guy who basically jumped off the rafters and committed suicide in the background. Like that's in the music video.
There's a clip with obviously it says in the Bible scripture that with a white horse.
Yeah, death riding a pale horse.
Death riding a pale horse. It has that literally right.
In the background, but it's the fact of they're doing dance moves and stuff because that's what a lot of black people in America are more concerned about. They're more concerned about the new latest dance move rather than their own mortality.
Like, do you guys ever like really see the whole pattern with something will happen big in the news, people will be talking about it, yeah, for like a week or two. No, normally it never goes really more than 2 weeks, depending on the severity of the situation. But
Yeah.
then after that 2 weeks, you will see like a topic that everyone else is talking about that has no like
No relevance
reasoning
at
to
all. Yeah.
like nothing at all. It's literally just something dumb. And
Yeah,
then
like people
like,
just end up moving on from it, and it's like people need to realize, like, hold on, we need to take a step back and address this thing properly.
like raw. There's still slaves in Libya right now.
Yeah.
Like
There's probably still
to
slaves
this
in
day.
America somewhere.
Like there's still like suppressed like racism and all that going on right now. Like there's so much other stuff in this world. But the thing is that people are either too scared because they feel like they can't do anything about it, so they rather focus on something that's more lighthearted, like somebody else's family or like a celebrity's family or whatnot, than to focus on the actual like real life.
Yeah.
Like like
I,
Yeah, and like I was saying, that ties into to the same point of it's like people find it easier to just stick their head in the sand, whether it's out of fear or whether they're just like, this looks like it's going to be difficult if I start getting involved, so I'm just not going to get involved at all.
See, I think. See, I watched a little into, and basically, Charles gonna be he decided to not really give away the meaning of the video, like his official meaning, or explain what's going on. Really, he decided not to do that, so he left up interpretation. And you guys, I think you make a good point when you're saying it's to kind of issue people to wake up, but I'm gonna kind of shove this over to you, Shumo, to kind of finish off what I say. I'll make it easy for you. Don't worry. I think, like I said, the waking up, that's a good point. But I think it's not necessarily, and I think this is the reason why I don't want to answer the questions. I think it's not necessarily a race thing. I think people are looking at it probably thinking it's race thing. And my thing is, if anybody else but him was to do this music video the same way, how would you interpret it? So if a white guy or an Asian guy or whatever goes and does the same video, would it have the same impact? Because I believe that people are taking it as a race thing, but I don't think this is even a race thing. I think it's an American thing. I think it's an American kind of lifestyle thing. What do you think, Shula?
I think it's both, to be honest. Like watching the video, obviously, I'm pretty sure it's all black people, no?
Yeah.
Majoritively.
And yeah, like I said, I think it's both. I think it's commentary on the black experience in America.
Yeah.
It's commentary on what is happening to black people, but not just that. What is happening in America, full stop. So things like gun violence, for example, which isn't just like a subject for black people. It's the whole of America. It's been more prominent last year and this year and etc. The video is there's a lot in there. You need to watch it a lot of times. You need to watch it multiple times to get into it. But if somebody else was to do it, I think it would be more focused on stuff like gun violence than race. I mean, but like I feel like it does tie to race as well. Like,
the point that Jordan,
choir shooting, is the choir shooting was to do with that white supremacist group, right? That went into the church and shot up.
Dylan Roof.
Sorry?
Dylan Roof.
So say that a bit louder.
The church in Charlotte, Carolina, and shot up the whole fire, or shot up the whole church.
In Charleston, yeah.
Charleston, yeah.
I lost where I was going.
You're saying how it was done by a white supremacist group?
Yeah, I mean, but that's just one thing in there. Like, there's loads of different stuff from a load of different things that's been happening in America that we've been seeing.
But
and that's why he's driving back. This is America. This is America. It's not just he's put it to a beat that we might turn up to. He's added a bounce to it that people will listen to.
But here's the thing that I think you've missed for this point, Shoes. Because you saying if the video was done differently, take the same video. Now put Eminem in place of Childish. Now how does the video look? Because that's the point that I think Jordan that Peach was going for.
Yeah.
What do you mean? How does it look?
So you're saying if you replace it with somebody who isn't black?
They're
So,
still
like-
going to talk about race in it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no. But he's
still
saying
come
will
on,
the
yeah.
message? He's saying will the initial message be different? I still think it would still be the same thing. Because if it was somebody who was of a different color, that would mean that this person. I feel like this person was in our corner.
It
Personally,
would, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It will be the same thing, but there will also be the caveat of, oh, you're just using the black struggle to help sell
Yeah.
your shit or whatever. That's what happened with Eminem's last album. He had a song on there where he was talking about,
Yeah.
you know, black people being shot by police and stuff like that. Black
That's
boy,
a good-
black boy.
that's it.
Like, it sounded a bit crazy, innit?
Yeah.
But you know, anyone who has followed Eminem's career knows, like, he's down for,
who's on our side?
like, yeah, he's like, he's not like that.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, if it was somebody other than black, I feel like it would be a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
But the main message would still be there, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
I agree.
I want to kind of just wrap up the
Oh,
Childish
right.
Gambino thing.
America
Go on,
are
mate.
open to it now.
Hmm?
Like, I said, I like how like America are so open to it now. Like when before, if this was to drop, like say like 3-4 years ago, it would just be like, oh, okay, well you're just talking about something, blah 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 blah.
I think if it dropped 3-4 years ago, it'd still be relevant.
No, but I'm saying like it will still be relevant, yeah, but like it wouldn't get much of a reception that it getting now.
I think it'll get more reception because we're hearing more and more stuff like this nowadays.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about before. Before, I don't
Before
think
what?
it would get more reception than it's getting now. That's how I like it.
No, but you're saying before. You're saying before. What's before what though? Because I feel like this could have come out at any. This could have come out at any point, and it would have still got the same amount of buzz because this thing has just been going on. It would just mean that.
Okay, so before the big social media craze, so before like everything, see how on social media everything travels like that. You can literally say one thing and then you go.
Yeah, but you're
like
saying
that.
before the social media craze. This would have to go back to times before MySpace because even still.
No, come on. Social media was not as popular like 3-4 years ago than it is now.
Nah, it's definitely not. Like you thought it's on freaking social media, bro.
I still think that it was. Put it this way. I still feel it would. I know I'm standing by my point. I still think it would be. I'm not saying it would travel. No. It would still be as popular. In all honesty, to me, like I understand what you're saying about social media, being the thing that sort of helps carry it along. But I feel like social media still wasn't exactly small 3-4 years ago. 3-4 years ago, we were still in uni. Like people were still all about being on Instagram and all of that. Like and all these pages that we follow were around 3-4 years ago. So you telling me that it wouldn't have blown up as much as it would have now?
Yeah, but look how different look how different technology has changed 3-4 years ago compared.
It's not that different.
It's not even that. It's not even that technology thing. I think Childish Gambino engineered the video to work better with social media. So to your point, Big, I don't think if you were to release this 4 years ago, Childish Gambino can construct the same video to hit the same audiences. I think the way he did it makes it so great that it can be shown around social media. Because think about it this way, yeah. If it's not social media, really, 4 or 5 years ago, it's going to be radio. You can't. The message can't really be shown on radio, and if it ain't on the radio, if it's not on the radio, it'll be on TV. But even still, the message still can't be shown the same way on TV. But with social media, it can hit every single device on any section of the world, at any time, and that's why I think he engineered it perfectly.
And on top of that, 3-4 years ago, Childish Gambino doesn't have the buzz and the pull that he does now.
Yeah.
Now, being Donald Glover, he's in like literally everything. Accomplished. He's got so many accolades. There are a lot more eyes on him, and he launched his video while he was on SNL. As Donald Glover, like he got such a bigger mainstream appeal now.
Yeah.
If he was to do it 3-4 years ago, I don't think it's getting as much of a look.
Yeah. I don't think he would have hit like 1.1.
Not to say that it would be small.
But then then you could argue the fact that doing that might have been his blow up video, and he could have got to not where he is now from that one video like that. But because there's artists that we've heard of however long ago, and then we look back now, and there's suddenly something out of nowhere. Like take Tekashi 69, he did one thing and blew up. What I'm getting at is that if he released it back then, that could have been him then. Like this one video could have been the reason why he ended up blowing up.
I disagree with that because social commentary gets pushed back on a lot.
Yeah, trust. That's true.
What do you mean? What do you mean, sir?
So if you have like a message,
Yeah.
it's only more recently. Well, I say more recently, over the last few years or whatever, that being socially conscious and speaking out about things becoming trendier.
Yeah, that's facts.
Becoming so-called woke.
That's why I don't know, Drake wasn't doing God's plan 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's facts. So
I'll say what. So since Pimp the Butterfly, since Kendrick's Pimp the Butterfly, everybody's become more socially aware.
I think
I mean it's happening.
No, I'll say that's when like okay, you hear it more.
I think it's unfair to say to pin it on one person, but
no, I'm not pinning on one person. I'm not saying like he was the end of or it all started from him. But I'm saying like
that era
from that era when that album dropped, like obviously people were getting killed by police and stuff like that, and then Kendrick was like, "Boom, this is what's happening. I'm telling you what it is. Like you don't really need to fix up what's going on because it's wrong. It's stupid."
I can get behind that, and the last touch on Charles Gambino really is, and it's the video itself. Do you think it's I'll put it in three different terms. Do you think it's good, bad, or ugly? And what I mean by that is that how it affects everybody else, not necessarily him. Everybody else. Do you think it's going to affect people in a good way? It's going to affect people in a bad way, or do you think everybody's going to take it like ridiculous and people are going to blow up over it?
It depends on who you are and where you're from.
Okay, let's say the UK. We're from the UK. What do you think about the UK?
I think
do you think that
I don't believe that we are, because put it this way, I don't think in the UK, at least towards, put it this way, I feel like black people are not majoritively, but they are at least to a degree safer here because racism here isn't as crazy prominent as it is in the US. But you could also put that down to because we're a lot smaller than the US.
That is why.
But I think more people would be receptive of it nationally here than in America.
I feel like we'll be more receptive to it. But I feel like what you were saying about black people here being safer or whatever, or racism not being as bad, regardless of whether we're small, I think that's mainly because we're in London. Outside of London,
it's a bit funky.
I mean, from personal experience, it's a lot different.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's a lot different.
And it's like also, if you really want to get into the whole UK and kind of like the racial thing, I would say the UK, the British public, they have a different race target. I don't think the black people get it as bad as maybe not as bad as some of the other races like Muslims. I don't think. Oh, sorry. Let's say Indians then. Don't be politically incorrect. Let's say
usually more majoritively Hindu, but okay.
Right.
God, right. Jordan, you're so insensitive.
Right.
Yeah, PGG.
2018. Yeah, Peach. It's 2018.
Yeah.
You get my point.
Yeah, follow him at Power Guy Gaming for all abuse that you want.
Trust me, send him all the abuse and send him horrifying pictures of. Never mind. I forgot. I'm behaving.
I
apologize for being
a filthy cis male.
Right.
No, I know what you're saying.
I know what you're saying as well. I'm just jibbing at
Asian people.
But let's just say Asian people. Yeah, just to wrap it up. Yeah. I think they're in the UK. I think they may get it probably worse than the blacks. At least in my personal opinion, over the 21 years of music, I just feel like that seems to be the case over
You're
my years.
22.
I'm 21 until June.
I'm
Like, I'm
joking.
not
I was
22 yet.
lying.
I'm getting there.
You've been fooled.
A few great hairs. I'm almost there. Yeah. So I think for the US, I think it'll be a good thing for them. Like, I think it's gonna kind of, like you said, wake people up. I think it all comes down to, I like the waking up idea. Like, big and you big and you sleep hard, really hard. I think that idea of like, hey guys, snap out of it. This is happening. I like that idea. And I think for everywhere else, I think it's kind of just whatever. I don't think anyone else really, because this is America. It just kind of says we don't care about anywhere else, even though it's happening everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, but
We don't really
to be
care
honest,
about it.
America is that country where they only think they're the only country.
That is true. I would.
So, like, from the time they say a World Series and it's only them, like, no, shut up. Shut up.
I mean, I don't think anywhere is the World Series baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is really trying to play baseball because, I mean, we call it rounders here.
Yes.
No, I mean, like, there's a lot of Asian countries that play baseball, like the Philippines and Japan and stuff like that, but they don't get invited to the World Series.
Maybe because they're not good
Well,
enough.
too,
Because Donald Trump's trying to build a border.
I mean, but what if they're just not good enough?
Yeah, but you can't call it a World Series and not invite the world.
But what if nobody else? What if nobody else in the world is better than you? Then you could call it the World Series.
Shut up.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. God.
Don't piss me off.
What do you mean?
Right. So that's
Brian's mad because there isn't a Nigerian baseball team.
I want to say, that's pretty much the main topics done. We covered Black Ops 4, Red Dead, God of War, Kanye, everybody's favorite, Childish Gambino. I want to kind of just ask, or talk about just random things, right? This just doesn't have any premise of anything really, but I want to ask you guys this, right? Does any of you guys own a Nintendo Switch?
Nope.
I do.
Nope.
I do.
Shima, you own a Nintendo Switch, right? So this is gonna you're probably gonna have to, right? Do you think Nintendo, what they're doing with the Nintendo Switch, is enough for them to compete with the other markets? So I'm saying, do you think what Nintendo's doing is enough to compete with PlayStation, Sony, Microsoft, and they're the two major console kind of guys, right? Because I'm looking at the Switch and I'm like, there's just not enough on there to attract me to get it. But at the same time, Nintendo's got so many good mascots, right? I'm like, I ain't got no choice. I gotta grab myself bread. So do you think they can compete with what they're doing right now?
Nintendo
Yeah.
are pissing me off.
Bad.
Alright, don't get me wrong. The Switch year one, it had a very strong year. You had a Zelda game, which it was a Game of the Year contender, although I didn't think it should have swept all the awards. And Mario, which also I think was a Game of the Year contender.
Yeah.
Both of those games are incredible. Mario Kart as well, which was also on there, even though it was a rehashing, it still was really good because a lot of people hadn't played the Wii U. So it missed out on a lot of games like that, like Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, stuff like that. They're all coming this year. Or Bayonetta 2's already. Smash Bros will be this year. They are slowly but surely getting games that are worthwhile, like, to own the console for. I don't know if you're a big Splatoon player, but that's on there. Metroid Prime 4 will be coming soon. Pokemon will be coming either... I'm pretty sure next year Pokemon's coming.
They got any Mega Man on there yet?
Mega Man 11 coming at some point from Capcom. But I know for now they've got the Legacy Collections Part 1 and 2, which is on. They are getting a lot more games, and especially indie. It's really good for indie. I feel like it's definitely worth owning one, but you also have to take it with the Nintendo pinch of salt. It's like Nintendo have a habit of doing the opposite of what their consumers want.
Right.
So Virtual Console, for example, they came out and said that they have no plans for Virtual Console. This is what everybody has been waiting for. Everybody wants the ability to buy older games and especially GameCube games, which have been rumored for a while. That'd be great. You know, you take GameCube games on the go or whatever. That'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like the console. It's great. But back to your question about whether it can compete, I think it's going to do better than Xbox One.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to compete with the PS4 this cycle.
Right.
But I think it would definitely have the number 2 spot.
Because the thing is as well, like when I say compete, I'm not talking, oh, it's gonna be the most powerful or it's gonna have the biggest selection of games. I'm just saying when we move on to the next generation, right? And we look at how long the Switch, look at 5 years of Switch, 5 years of PlayStation, 5 years or 10 years of this, 10 years of that. Do you think you look at it and be like, you know what, the Switch, you up there with the big boys, you up there with the elites, you could tussle with the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Yeah, 100%, and I'll tell you why. It's the portability.
Yeah.
The handheld of it. So, like, obviously, when it's docked, it's basically the equivalent of a PS3, but a bit better.
Yeah.
But the ability to take that experience in your hand, and it's pretty much exactly the same, is the game changer there.
Right. See. Now I'm gonna switch over to you, Big, and you, right? Because I know you guys don't own a Switch, do you?
No.
Right. So I have to make sure, you know, Schumer gave us the rundown, kind of the foundation of, you know, what it's like. But you two, right? If you guys could say, okay, right, what game do I want on the Switch? What game would you like to play on the Switch, guys?
I mean, because I've used the Switch. Go on.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mario Kart Double Dash. It doesn't matter any generation, because obviously it has that portability. The features make it awesome, right? That's kind of the main selling point.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
If you could put a game on there, Big, you're saying Mario Kart Double Dash. Big, you're pretty good at Double Dash, man. You're definitely better than me.
Not pretty good. I'm the shit.
You're right. My bad. You're right. You are definitely good at it.
Don't make me go to my GameCube right now and turn it on.
or boss up the AI, yeah. 150 mirror. With the CC mirror. But yeah, Sleep, what game would you put on the Switch?
I mean, if it's any game, I'd probably want Beyond Good and Evil. I won't lie.
You can put it. You can take it anywhere you go, anywhere you want. You wouldn't want to play a different game.
I mean, I feel like any other game would just probably. I want something that would make the game look better, not worse.
Right. So you're talking about the actual like limitations of the console.
I mean,
itself.
like if it's something that I want on the go, like
yeah.
Because I've used the Switch, so I know what I'd be getting into. But for what I want, there would have to be some physical changes to the console itself.
Right.
So I'd want to play something like Third Strike, because I'd happily take that on the go with me, easy.
And you're talking about Street Fighter Third Strike.
Third Strike, yeah.
First Strike is coming this month.
Yeah, but for me, because I've used the Switch, the directional buttons, which are like chiclet keys on a keyboard, just don't do it for me personally.
Yeah.
Like because I know there's controllers for it.
Yeah, and there is a D-pad Joy-Con about somewhere. But yeah, there's multiple ways to control
so I'd
it.
have to get one of those to definitely play it. But a Street Fighter would be good. A Street Fighter or some form of a fighting game.
See me. I want a racing game. I think I would want like, but not like a simulation game, not like a Gran Turismo or
like a Need for Speed type thing.
Yeah, I'm talking about the classics.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about
like Underground 2.
Yeah, or the better. I need to bash into somebody. You know what I mean? I don't want you on the train or something. I need to crash.
Hey, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Hey, Mario. Hey, that's a possibility, man. That's a possibility. Nintendo, maybe.
They need to bring that game back though.
Hey, you go talk to.
They brought out a better version of it. It's called Mario Kart.
No.
Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8 is sick though, man.
Deluxe.
Trust me, you need to double dash that. You need to double dash that in the bin.
Yo, 1080p, like 60 FPS.
Trust
Mario,
me.
styling on him.
It's one of those CCs. Hard mode. Pause.
But no, but yeah, that'll be my. I think Burnout 3 Takedown. If anyone's ever played that game, I think that'll be
Oh,
That'll be
I remember Burnout Revenge was my first Burnout. That was dope.
right. Yeah. So that's random topic one. Does anyone else have a random topic? 'Cause I got a lot. But I'll
The
give you
question
guys...
the question is there are there limitations to these random topics?
No.
Because
Oh, you want.
I want to bring something up, but I feel as though it would 100% get received horribly.
Well, I have a gaming one.
Go on, there you go. See you later. Could do it. Forget me. I'll wait for my turn to come back around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, did everyone see the wall of the E3 2018 lineup?
No, I did not.
The pardon?
So Walmart listed a load of games with obviously with blank cover art or whatever, but they've named the games that they're going to be selling, and it looks like a big indicator of what's going to come out of E3 2018. Obviously, it was a mistake that they put all this up, and it looks like they've kind of pulled the trigger a bit early. So I'm just going to read off some of the games on there, and then I don't know, you guys can gauge whether you're excited for them or not. No, the first one, Splinter Cell. Apparently, a new Splinter Cell.
Hey, Sam Fisher coming back. All right.
Sam Fisher coming back. The last game was in 2013. I'd be excited for that if they did a good like stealth Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Just Cause 4.
Okay,
Just Cause.
Hold on. List the names first. So
Right.
people take note, and we'll revisit them. So get the names out the way.
All right, cool. Splinter Cell, Just Cause 4, Dragon Quest 2. I'm not too sure what that is. Destiny Comet, which looks like some sort of DLC. Borderlands 3. It's just got Assassin's Creed, no other sort of title. Lego DC Villains. Rage 2, which was a Bethesda game. Forza Horizon 5.
It should be 4.
Yeah, but 5 was what was apparently listed. Gears of War 5. What else is there? I think that's all I can see. The thing from the computer just messed up. But yeah, so from those lot.
Okay, so so you said Just Cause 4.
Dragon Quest.
I think the franchise needs to stop now. I think they've exhausted it. I think it's finished.
Agreed. Just Cause is done. I don't think Just Cause 3 was really that good. I don't think there's nothing they can do to patch it up because, I mean,
I don't think they can do that they haven't already done. Like literally, the game is based off of let's blow stuff up. After you do that, like for 3 games, if that's all you got, it's time to hang it up.
Just a Michael Bay movie.
Basically, just a Michael Bay movie. Basically, yeah. So yeah, Dragon Quest. I haven't played Dragon Quest in a long time. I think that's
I've got
East.
Is it Requisition?
I'm not too sure.
No, that's Dragon Age.
Yeah.
What's Dragon Quest? Is Dragon Quest like the really old game?
Yeah. Oh, I think I heard about this. Apparently, it's actually going to be like an in-game, like animated board game. I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's popular over in the East. You said Assassin's Creed. I really hope they're not remaking number 1. I really.
Oh my god! If they dare, oh my life.
That would be horrifying.
Here's the one thing I'm tired of hearing from people saying. Sorry, I'm gonna go on a rant. This is what I'm tired of people saying. People actually come tell me that the first Assassin's Creed was good. That gets me so mad. As a game, it is lazy. It is it is so lazy. I remember playing this when I was young, and then after I started my gaming course, I think I must have revisited it at one point, and I was like, wow, this game is dead. So what is it? You go to some next city, murk a couple guys, climb some buildings, and do the exact same thing, just somewhere else. Try to tell me that isn't lazy. Honestly, one of you try and actually tell me with seriousness that is not that's not lazy development.
I can't tell you that. What I can say to you is I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan, right? But I'm gonna play devil's advocate because it's fun to do that. Okay. right. So basically, right. So I I don't like Assassin's Creed. And what you said, laziness, basically you kill somebody, go to another town, climb. I see all Assassin's Creeds to be like that because I just don't play them. I find them quite boring, to be honest with you. But the one fact I think you're missing is that Assassin's Creed, when it first came out, 2006, 2008, not too sure, there wasn't any other games like that, bro. But what year was it? What year was it big?
So what year is it? 2000 and...
I think it was 2006.
Yeah, Big, you're a little bit quiet.
I said it was 2006.
2006. Cool. Yeah, so like for me, it's like Assassin's Creed. That was the first kind of open world.
Liar.
Oblivion.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Open world.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion is open world.
No, let him finish.
Sorry.
Bro, I don't mean it's the first open world game. I don't mean now. It's one of the first. It's one of the pretty much the only game at that time. The first one. It was open world. Run up a building, assassinate somebody, hide. You got people coming after you, and you're in a place where most games don't really set their scene. Right? It's probably the only game I think of 2006 that was like that. I don't think there was any other stealth games like that.
I mean,
I don't think so.
Okay, so
came out 2007, by the way.
Sorry, yeah, right? I don't think it was. So when that game came out, all the hype was attracted to it because there was no other game doing that. It's boring to you now because the new Assassin's Creed and the new games, they're able to take what Assassin's Creed 1 did and expand on it. So now you got all these games that are doing what Assassin's Creed 1 did better. So now when you go back to play Assassin's Creed, yeah, you're right, it hasn't aged very well.
Okay, but I'm talking about the point of when I first played it. Because I couldn't get past a lot of it because it was a terrible game.
Yeah, but I think
okay, you're talking about not being able to do like aerial takedowns and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, I
feel like Crysis did that.
Yeah, but Crysis isn't like an Assassin. I mean, the old Crysis there's a lot of stealth elements to it. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I don't think really not like Assassin's Creed, not third person.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed ain't no shooter. Neither.
Did The Witcher do it?
Crysis
I
was
don't
also
know.
only on PC for a long time.
So I don't. Shima said the Crysis is only on PC for a long time. So I don't think
we're not making a console specific thing. It's just a game.
Right. So you're right. But like I don't think there's many other games doing that. So I think your pet peeve with the game is that it's repetitive and it can be very boring.
Okay, but I'm taking the game as a whole. I'm not iterating just that one bit. Like this, I think we can all agree that the story was dry. Like I genuinely tried to finish it, and I got really close, but I was like, I can't deal.
From what I remember, yeah, it's not the most exciting game.
Like especially with other games that came out. So like, let's take what makes a game. So mechanics wise, what was that?
Never mind.
Anyway, yeah. So let's take what makes a game. So we can say, I think the thing we can say that makes I think there are things that are core that we can say makes a game. So it's having a story,
Right.
the complexity of the game, its mechanics, and the way it looks. Those four things I think are it's fair to say that those are four very core. I know there's things that branch off of those things.
I'll go to the mile with you and say yeah. Continue. Go on.
But yeah, I think those we can say that at least those four things are stuff that would make up a decent game.
Okay.
So, games that came out that year: BioShock.
Yeah.
Better story.
Okay.
Better looking.
Okay.
Nicer game mechanics because there was more things to fiddle with.
Okay.
Portal. I don't need to say anything.
Okay.
Portal mechanically was dope.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, cool.
Like for me, saying okay, because a lot of games came out in 2007.
Okay.
So I can't say if another game did the whole climbing up something to then jump off it like Assassin's Creed did. I can't say because I'm not going to look through. I haven't played all of them, all of the games that came out in 2007.
Yeah,
So
2007 was a really
say-
good year. I'm looking at it now.
Huh?
I was saying 2007 was a really good year. I'm looking at the games now.
But like, Yeah, so
I do personally feel that if you played Assassin's Creed 2, your opinion will change.
well, I'm talking about we're talking about the first one though.
Yeah, but
I'm not talking about the
everyone.
I'm not talking about the franchise. I'm specifically talking about the first game.
Right. Oh, wait, look. Okay. Look. Right. I need to say one thing I'm struggling to understand is what are you basing the game being bad off? Are you saying because it's repetitive and it's boring and it's not?
I'm saying those four things that we mentioned that we said that we agreed on that
Yeah.
those things being good will more than likely make a good game.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there's very long list of games that do all of those things better.
That's
Because
true.
I'm getting
That,
at that the first Assassin's Creed isn't a good game.
no. Yeah, but the thing is though, where you're losing me
Mm-hmm.
is that Assassin's Creed is not a good game because its competitors are better. Because its competitors are better. That's like saying the Nintendo Switch is not as good because you could argue that PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is better.
No,
Like that doesn't make.
but what I'm also saying is the fact that I think we can say that there is a bar. There's a certain bar to what makes a good game, and like I was saying, graphically, for its time, graphically, it was okay. I can give it that. Graphically, it looked alright,
Yeah.
but game mechanics, super basic and lazy. Story, dry.
All right.
What's the fourth point? So how it looks.
That's
game mechanics,
subjective.
Story.
That's subjective, very subjective.
Okay, but it is okay. Granted, yeah, it is subjective, but I know for a fact I'm definitely not the only person who thinks that. Like it is like a lot of people don't like the first one. Like Big was saying, I'm not even doo-dooing on the whole franchise because I after the first one I didn't want to play the rest of the franchise.
No, I know what you're saying. I don't like the first game. I agree with you. I think the first game is a bad game. I didn't have any problems with its story. It was the way it played. It was very repetitive, and it wasn't very. It just felt like a bit of a chore.
Like I feel
It was.
yeah
It's a typical what we would call now a Ubisoft game kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it very much started that whole trend. They made tons of improvements in the second one, but I know you're just talking about
The first one.
the first one.
First one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one and the one after that was really
Right.
good. They're
Yeah,
like
like
the
I
best
wouldn't because
series
that's
for me.
why do you think I'm not saying nothing about the them ones because they are very critically acclaimed. Like people say these ones are really good. I haven't played them, so I'm not gonna say that they're bad. But I've played the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like-
agree with you that the first one wasn't the best foot out, but on the other hand, if we were to say anything else about it, I don't know. There was a new console generation. I don't know. They are trying something new. It was a new franchise. There's bound to be growing pains. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Like I said, I'm not trying to. I'm not like for that's not their fault that for the time that it was a new console. Like these things do happen. Like not every game's going to be a hit. Some of them will be a miss. And this, for me and the rest of you, do all agree, despite you guys playing devil's advocate, you do all agree that it was a miss.
Hey, I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy Assassin's Creed. I don't.
Yeah, no, but I see where you're coming because for me personally, and granted, you could say this is closed-minded of me, and you know what, to a point it is true. But you know what, this is how you this is how you form opinions. I played the first one, and then when I heard there was a second one coming out, I was like, oh great, more trash. So I just chose not to play it.
Yeah, fair. That's fair, man. I just think you're a bit too. I think you're a bit too unfair on it, though.
How?
I think you're a bit too unfair on it because, like, you're like saying that there are better games out there, but I'm saying to you,
Okay, but that's
for the time,
go on.
for the time for its genre, I don't think there was.
Okay,
I
but
don't think there were.
okay, so we're talking about something that's like an RPG. There are things that came out before that were better.
Yeah, but I think I would classify. I put Assassin's Creed in like action adventure with stealth elements. In fact, action adventure stealth game.
Okay, so then with your argument still there, Hitman.
Yeah, Hitman's good.
The action, would you say it's an action stealth semi-adventure because it tells a story?
Yeah, same with Splinter Cell.
Okay, yeah. So so what I'm getting at is that for me, look, we all expect. Because the reason why I say, because you're saying, oh, it's unfair that I'm comparing it to stuff, but that's how you usually can judge something if it's good or not. Because as time goes on, we expect certain things to be better. And if something takes a step backwards, I'm sure that you could say if Assassin's Creed came out in like PS2 times, it would be amazing. But the fact that we went then, we were in 2007, where we'd had Hitman, we'd had Splinter Cell, we've had Bioshock, uh, we've had a lot of other stuff that did a lot more complex things, very good.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, to come to a middle ground, I kind of see your point. You're saying for when the time the game came out, or the generation the game came out, it ain't all that. And people are kind of saying, well, people should see that it weren't all that. Okay, I follow you on that one. I follow you.
Like, you know, if you can, like, for me, if you want, if because you know, there are things where things are subjective, and then then there's things for me that are static, that are solidified. You can, because for me, for other people will take the story differently. Some people will think the story was great. That's fine. Like I put like you know, I've been saying personally, I didn't find the story good, and I said it was an opinion. I found it dry. Next man might not find it that dry, but like things like the game, like the way it set itself up, like no one can tell me that it wasn't, like, doing the stuff wasn't not exactly the same.
That's true.
Because everyone would have had that same experience.
That's exactly why I didn't finish that game, and I really don't finish games.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, because you know, some people can fight through the repetition, but for me, if I'm playing a game and I'm doing the exact same thing, like, so imagine it's like like things like Crash Bandicoot. Imagine if it was the exact same level every time, but it just looked slightly differently.
It works for some people, innit? It works for like Destiny players and stuff like that. But I understand what you're saying. Shadow of War today, and I've decided that I'm not gonna finish like its end game, after game stuff, because it's literally the same thing. It wants you to do the sieges. It wants you to do like 20 castle sieges. And they're all basically the same thing, just to unlock a cutscene. It's like, I'm not about it. Like, I finished the main story. Basically, I can watch the end scene on YouTube.
On YouTube, But yeah, that's where I'm going with Assassin's Creed.
Okay, yeah, I want to talk about
major
this,
trash tier game. Carry on.
right. Hey, I'm gonna do one more topic. Someone else can do a topic, and then we can wrap it up. So I'm thinking, what do you guys think about mobile gaming? So obviously, yeah, with mobile is getting.
Is it gaming?
Better, better hardware and stuff inside it, right? Better technology and that, and obviously been able to run stuff like Fortnite, PUBG, and I would say they're probably some of the most intensive. You've got Hearthstone on there. I know that's not the most intensive game, but that game takes up a lot of space. I think you guys think that people should take mobile gaming more serious?
Like, do you reckon? Are you asking more of, is there a place for mobile gaming in a? Because the one problem I have with even talking about mobile gaming is because there's nothing hardcore to play on mobile games. Maybe that's just maybe in my eyes.
What do you mean?
So like for me, there's nothing that I could see myself in, like Monster Hunter. I invested. You and me have both invested over clean over 100 hours.
Yeah,
you maybe over 2.
Yeah.
But it's like there's nothing like that on mobile games for me. I mean, and that's the thing. I think because it's just mobile games have a complete different market that they need to hit. Like, so I can't speak from a personal point.
I also say to that though, that's not platform. It's meant to be designed to be on the
go. But like, so Pete, your original question was just what do we think of it?
Yeah, do you think people should take it more seriously?
It's hard to take it seriously when it's so limiting.
Because like, the thing is that like, well, what you saying? Sorry.
No, I think you said it was true. Was that?
Oh.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, because let me put it to you this way: even with the consoles that we have nowadays, we can plug a mouse and keyboard into them and give ourselves a massive advantage.
Right.
Like, with mobile gaming, would have to start using other methods to become a serious player in the games industry.
Right. Okay. So here I can probably follow a couple of you guys. Right. So I think a lot of things is like it's not really much to play. Not there's not much to play. Sorry, there's nothing really to sink your teeth into or invest into, right? Because obviously technology and yada 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 that doesn't have the advancements yet for mobile gaming to allow you to do that, right? Or maybe they're just not really trying to do that because of the market, right? And we are going to try and blow your mind is so think about games way back when you had like text-based games. You had like you had like
what was the game? Was it Porg?
this is Zork.
Zork,
Yeah,
that's the one,
Zork.
not Porg.
Right. Yeah, you had Zork, yeah, and you had you had like what you call it, Pong, and then you want to go a bit further in, you got like Atari games, you want to go a bit further in, you got Super Nintendo, and like no offense to those games, they're awesome, they do their business, they handle their stuff, and you can invest time into it. But let's just say back then there was no God of War, back then there was no Skyrim. You know what I mean? Back then, there was none of those games where, or like say, like even want to even go off just the major market. Like you got like StarCraft, that's major market. Bad example. You got like StarCraft, and it's an RTS game, or you got Forza's a racing game. But probably back then there wasn't really that much. So how did they get more? How did we take gaming more serious back then? Do you guys think the answer to getting mobile games to be more serious is to give people more options of stuff to sink their teeth into?
It's like I was saying before. It's very hard to say how it can be improved when the technology is very limited.
I think it's the technology. Yeah. I think it's the technology.
Because the thing is, I would like the only thing I ever do on mobile gaming. I have one game I think that I got from the Play Store. But do you know what I play most on my phone? Pokemon.
Yeah.
I play like Game Boy games.
Yeah, emulators.
Yeah, like it's one of them ones where those just they're more fun than mobile games.
Okay, right. So
like
that's
if we were gonna, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say no. I know. When you finish your point, I'm gonna bring my point.
Yeah, no, because I was gonna say the only way that I could see me genuinely probably getting invested in something that's mobile is if it started incorporating something really different, like augmented reality, but that's ridiculously hard to do off of a mobile. Like it would have to be something completely game changing and crazy for me to start getting invested into a mobile game.
I think mobile gaming gets shunted so much because other gaming platforms and software or whatever, it's just so much more better, so much better to play. Right? No one wants to. Yeah, sure, you got augmented reality on. You can flip the phone and hold the phone up to the sky and oh god, Zubat's flying. Right? You can't put it that
Oh
way,
my god!
Right? But then say Nintendo Switch brings out Pokemon, who's really going to want to be playing Pokemon Go when you can literally on the go with the Switch run around properly and you know what I mean, play Pokemon on there. So I think it's just the other stuff is so much more advanced. It kind of pushes it aside
100%.
and doesn't make it as good. But does anyone else want to add any more topics in before I wrap this up?
I wanted to talk on the mobile.
Oh yeah. You talk. Talk
God.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think mobile gaming has done more damage to gaming as a whole than good.
I think so.
Especially with the way that the economy of it, like they give them away.
Yeah.
They give them away for free, and then they ram microtransactions down your neck.
Yeah.
That's where, like our discussion earlier about microtransactions, where that came from. Don't get me wrong. There's like the odd game that might be fun or whatever. Like I don't play a lot of mobile games, but when I do, they're usually like you were saying, text games. There's like interactive text games that like take advantage of like your phone quite well.
Yes.
It's the thoughtful ones that are better in my opinion. But everybody's chasing like the white whales of like I don't know what was the game that was making ridiculous amounts of money?
Candy Crush.
Flappy Bird.
Oh yeah,
Candy Crush.
Flappy Bird made a lot of money because people bought it. Candy Crush is the microtransaction one.
And so is Clash. What's it? Clash of Clans. Or Clash.
I thought you were going to say Cash Me Outside.
Yeah, like that sort of stuff it just lacks substance. It's like
toxic.
Video. To take it more serious, personally, I'd rather people not. because
Phones
of
offer
like
means.
I said, like because of how damaging it's been. But that's not to say there isn't like good experiences on there. Like Pokemon Go was like fun for a week. Like
Yeah.
there is cool things on there, but I don't think you should expect like a AAA experience for a mobile game. Like,
Yeah,
and
no.
I don't think it's anything to do with like the technology being limited because the Switch is based on a mobile chipset. But yeah, I don't think the audience there is like what we would consider like true gamers to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what you're saying about the Switch being on a mobile chipset. I was gonna say, would it not? Because obviously, I was gonna say it would have probably been a lot more heavily modified, and it's not having to do other things that a phone does, but also
Yeah, that's true.
just the fact of the external of what a Switch is. Like you can get the little phone holder with the controller on it, and you can do it like that. But the Switch is just a lot easier, I think, to like put away and stuff rather than having to unclip the phone and then having to take the Switch.
No,
The Switch
yeah,
is just
I get what you're
nicer.
saying. I was talking mainly about like just like the
Yeah.
quality
No,
of the
I
game.
know. Yeah.
Like even Fortnite on mobile, it looks great. It plays well.
Hmm.
It's not too different from what's on the console, other than like the controller. But obviously, you compare.
You can actually, to be fair, on the thing, you can use mouse and keyboard as well. People have top cheats on it. I've seen it. Man's out here,
So
man out here getting that.
right, so I'm gonna. Does anybody else want to add anything else big? You quiet, so add anything.
No, I'm actually good. You know, I just listen to what all y'all got to say, man. I'm good.
Fair enough. Anybody else?
Sleep. What was that weird one that you wanted to do?
Yeah, what was that?
I was gonna bring up. I was gonna be like, you know what? Probably not. I really don't. Look, here's the thing. Like it's not even to do with anything. It was just a random thing that I had in my head, and I don't really think that this is probably the platform for it. Like this is something you'd hear on like Steven Crowder. Like this will get people mad at the opinions.
Say it.
Wait, you want to say
So
what
I was gonna say about how I don't think the transgender community help themselves sometimes. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think this is the time or place to bring this up.
I wish you left up for the next one, man. I wish you left it for the next week's podcast.
So, everybody, if you have enjoyed the Powered Up podcast, make sure you power up and slap that subscribe button. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All of our links are going to be in the description below. You can find me at Sleepless Elite. You can find Big Imperial, Shumo, and Pal Guy Gaming, all on YouTube. You can find Big Imperial at Big Imperial on Instagram. You can find Shumo nowhere because he doesn't have social media. You can find Pal Guy at Pal Guy Gaming on Instagram. You can also find me at slp.elt on Instagram, slp_ELT on Twitter, and obiwancoonobi on Snapchat.
Well, okay, cool. So my Snapchat is Autobots Unite.
Oh, sorry, I
and you can
forgot
also find me on Twitter. That is Big Imperial _ as well.
Okay, nice. Jeez, I'm on the spot. So mainly I'm on Instagram. So that's that Power Guy _. And that's where you'll find me there. I post all mainly stories and little bits and bobs over there. I kind of show people what I do on the tube over there. But you should definitely go check me out as well. My channel, obviously, this will be posted there as well. So. But I just want to say one last thing before we all go. I kind of want to ask or talk to the guys and basically say what are these guys kind of playing and what's to expect in their channel in the upcoming weeks. So, Big, you can start off first, man. What you got? What are you playing at the moment? What you got planned?
Currently finishing off God of War.
Yeah.
I've just finished off I just finished off the Stick of Truth.
Yeah.
Gonna play the Fractured Butthole very, very soon.
Yeah, don't make your character black. Again, it's hard as you make your character black. I'm just saying.
It's not like my life hasn't been hard, so.
I've been grinding my whole life, Dick.
Wow, shut up. You thought you could play God of War hard and look what happened.
I have no idea
I might have to put a clip up of that,
I have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
let me go download it real quick before Brian tries to remove it from his channel. We'll
I
get the
have no
download
idea.
started.
Yeah, so currently playing God of War. Finished off. I'm gonna finish off that very soon. I finished off the fractured but no, finish off the Stick of Truth. Gonna start the fractured butthole coming up next week. I've got other scary games in mind. So if anybody who has any suggestions of what other games they want me to play, let me know. Also, Beyond Two Souls. So I've literally downloaded that yesterday, so that's a game that I'm gonna start
Okay.
playing as well. So yeah.
Yeah, Shuma, you're up next, man. What are you playing on each channel?
I've literally just finished quite a few games. I just finished Horizon, just finished Shadow of War. I think I want to go for something a bit smaller.
Yeah.
I think I might play Hellblade next, but I don't think I'll stream that.
Oh, okay.
Streaming wise, I'm a Telltale game. I've got Batman Season 2,
Ooh.
Guardians of the Galaxy that I want to get into. I've also got the next video in my series on PS1 coming. So yeah, once that's edited, I'll put that
What's
up.
that? What's the series on PS1 that you've got?
Harry Potter
The Harry Potter
and
series.
the Philosopher's Stone.
God damn.
It's the Sorcerer's Stone because I'm playing the American.
Man, alright,
Mad.
Shuma. And yeah, so sleep. What you wanna
yeah.
tell us what you're playing at the moment?
Alright, well, on my channel there are 2 games you will find already finished. They're in playlists if you want to go check them out. You got God of War and you got Hellblade. Hellblade was a quick one, so that's only like 4 episodes. God of War I think is about 7 or 8 episodes. Currently I'm doing Beyond Two Souls. I'll also be recording. I'm not sure if I'm going to release it yet, but I'm going to be recording Beyond Good and Evil for the release for when it eventually comes out, hopefully next year, hopefully this year. And I'll probably just be doing a lot of Call of Duty, so you guys can, so people can jump in with me, have a quick game. You will not be seeing Fortnite ever again on my channel. I'm officially done with Fortnite.
Raw.
No, for real. I'm saying it right now. I'm done with Fortnite. Fortnite is I'm finished with it.
That's how you feel. Shit,
And
okay.
I don't know. I don't know. It's up to. Hey, if you go on my Instagram, you can DM me. Go for it. I'll play anything. I'll play almost anything that you guys suggest. Because
Well, in Fortnite.
okay, anything but Fortnite in it. Like if you hit me with Fortnite, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna send you to Pal Guy Gaming, and every time you do, I'm gonna make sure I attach like Blue Waffle to it.
Shit, God
Oh.
damn.
DMs will be full of Blue Waffle.
Oh, why would
Like-
you even say that?
That's right.
Right, well, I'll finish it off. I'll finish off.
What
by
are you
saying,
doing, PGG?
Right. I'm currently playing Conan Exiles. That's an open world survival game set in
How's that
Conan.
going?
That's really fun. It's super buggy. It's super laggy. The game runs like a piece of shit on the PlayStation 4, and I love it. But I also just finished God of the War. That's pretty awesome. If you haven't played it, I mean, we've been talking about it quite a lot. If you haven't played it, you should definitely do it. And also, I've been kicking ass on Halo 5, the Xbox One.
That's
Actually, pretty good at the game.
Killed.
I
It's like watching Brian play God of War on hard mode.
mean, hey,
What's the Brian play anything?
Oh, don't have it big.
What?
Sorry,
What?
big Imperial.
big.
Big Imperial, go watch him lose.
Hey, I respect you for trying on the hardest difficulty. You crazy, but I respect you for trying on the
It's the
hardest
fact that he was like, oh, now I know how to block, and the same thing happened. That was magical. That was magical. He thought as soon as he knew how to block, he was like, yes, it's over.
And once again, people, I want to say thank you very much for coming by supporting us. Powered Up Podcast, the 13th of the 5th, 2018, baby. We're doing it big every single week on Sunday. I'll catch you guys in the next one. People say goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.
Latest.
Yeah.
Also, it was Big Imperial who suggested the transgender topic, not me.